Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome to a special broadcast, I guess you'd have here tonight. Oh, it's the Great American Snowstorm of 2025. A lot of you are snowed in, blowed in, but we're still going to go in. So I hope all of you out there are safe and keeping warm, and maybe you found somebody else to keep warm with. So I can't get mad at you about that.
Alrighty then.
All right, well, now you've got me here to help you all through your shift here. If you're out there on the roads, all my long-haul truckers, my night shift nurses, my warehouse workers, my stay-at-home parents, my self-employed people, or just those of you who got the day off or whatever because it's snowing where you are. They got snow in Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, South Louisiana. I'm in North Louisiana, so they got snow down there in New Orleans. Been a whole bunch of places where that's been happening and whatnot. So I decided to take it upon myself to go ahead and give you all a little bit of something here. And I'm glad to hold court with the family tonight. So what we're going to do here is something I actually wanted to follow up on. We did a program last week about how weak men create hard times, particularly spurred by this particular video from The View. They were talking about Sheryl Ralph and her interesting quote-unquote marriage. And I just want to go ahead and take a moment here to go ahead and refresh your memories about exactly what was said there.
Fabulous. Told People magazine that the secrets to her happy 19-year marriage, which includes living about 2,400 miles away from her husband, Pennsylvania State Senator Vincent Hughes. Take a look.
He has his own life. I have my own life. He has his own real career. I have my own real career. We also live in separate places. When I go to see him, love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. I'm telling you, life is good.
And they just sitting there laughing and yucking it up. And it was just the weirdest, craziest stuff in the world you could possibly hear. That is not a marriage. That's a long-distance dating relationship right there is what it is. However, there were some other things we didn't get into last week that I actually thought were actually rather interesting and well worth acknowledging. Because there were some details that I think need to be in there. Now, a brief refresher for you here. First issue, because I'm gonna open up a little bit early for you all to chime in here tonight. But the first issue that you start to see, probably the first thing that should jump out to you there is her name. Her husband's name is Vincent Hughes. She calls herself Sheryl Ralph. She does not refer to herself by her husband's name. So you just the dude she married. To this day, she still does not refer to herself by her husband's name. That's the first clue that something's wrong. Then when she does that interview with People magazine, okay, the red flags all over the damn place there. But there was more. There was more. Because I mentioned this last week, and for those who are on Patreon, you got real deep off into it. This is a teaching moment tonight. Some folks are going to say, you're beating up on it. No, I'm not. It's a teaching moment tonight. And boy, we're going to teach you a little bit of something is what we're going to do. We're going to teach you more than a few things. Because there are a lot of fellas out there right now. You are in a relationship, long-term relationship. God help you. Some of you are married. Damn! To a red flag situation like this. Some of you might have decades into it. So she's just like, oh, one way or another, you going to pay the bills. But if you go over to Sheryl Ralph's Instagram, if you go over there, very interesting. Very first thing up here from People is she's 69 years old.
What? Auntie, chill.
69 years old. I'm proof the best is yet to come. Keep your head up. That was great. That was wonderful. She's 69 years old. And as she stated, she is married to a Pennsylvania State Senator, Vincent Hughes. Mr. Hughes makes a salary of $147,000 according to PenWatch, the state's government website that tracks their pay. So, Mr. Hughes has been doing this for a while, but apparently he doesn't have his eye on anything higher. He doesn't have his eyes set on anything higher, and that is a warning flag. We'll come back to show you why that is and what I mean. We're going to take a look at a couple of things here first from Sheryl Ralph, and nobody else out there is talking about these things, so while they give a very tertiary surface analysis of it, I want to show you some warning signs that everybody should be able to take a notice of. Now, the first thing we're going to go into here is something that I've mentioned before. Because you see, Sheryl Ralph, just last month was wishing Denzel Washington a happy birthday with a bunch of throwback pictures and stuff like that. That was all great, but she wanted to make sure that she let Denzel know that it's only been about 40 years, but she remembers when they first met, and she is wishing you a whole bunch of accolades. That's great. That's grand. That's wonderful. Yeah, she is really letting you know she really is nostalgic. I want the fellas in here in long-term relationships, the fellas who are married or have been married, you tell me if what you're about to see or what you're about to watch on here, if this is okay with you and Jason is just overly sensitive. Because that's 2024. One of my other folk there noticed that, by the way, they said, Jason, she's been doing this for a minute. And I said, really? He said, yeah. Take a look on your screens. Well, what do you know? Denzel's birthday in 2020. Damn! Wishing him a happy birthday. The Mighty Quinn with love from Jamaica. With love from Jamaica. And of course, she wants you to know that she is repping Jamaica. So some folks last week had questions about that. She wants you to know that she's repping Jamaica, and she wants to make sure that Denzel never forgets that she is repping Jamaica. Okay. 2020. 2022. So 2022. She wanted to know throwback pictures in 2022. Okay, she's letting you know it's 2022. It's Flashback Friday, baby. Name this film. One of my favorite films from my career with my brother Denzel. I think it's about time we do another film. What do you all think? So, move that over just a little bit. That's 2024, 2022, 2020, 2021. I had got to put these in order. I was in a bit of a hurry tonight. 2021, his birthday. Happy birthday, Denzel. God continue to bless you and guide you. Looking like two friends from kindergarten. Capricorn season. Backstage, The Mighty Quinn. 2024, 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019. What? Oh, she wanted you to know. Happy birthday to my Capricorn brother, Denzel Washington. It's your birthday today. So you know my birthday is right around the corner. This photo was taken while we were in Jamaica shooting the film The Mighty Quinn. Right after this movie, Denzel was no longer Denzel, but he was Denzel Washington. Capricorn season. I'm just curious to all my fellas out there. All my married men out there. I'm just curious if your wife was doing this. It's all good. Jason, she's just an entertainer. Jason, it ain't that serious. Jason, she just friendly. I'm going to try to hear tonight from all the fellas who say, Jason, no issues here. No issues, no problems here. And then, of course, years later, your woman is sitting up here telling the world, by the way, he got his own life, I got mine. He got his own place, I got mine. I see him when I see him, and life is good. And meanwhile, she's letting anybody know, but by the way, Yeah, buddy. Me and Denzel. Every year, every other year, she wants you to know that she remembers. The North remembers. Maybe it's just me, right? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it is. But there's more. Oh, no. Get your ass back over here. It's time to hurt some feelings. All up and down her timeline, she is very, very profuse about letting you know about when she won her Emmy. Oh, and she was very happy about it when she got the phone call. Okay, you can show up at the Emmys. Okay, great. You've been nominated. She was very, very happy. Oh, that was great. That was all. That was very, very wonderful. And she wins her Emmy. They said that she won. Oh, she is stunned. There's her husband there. There's her husband. She's sitting at the table stunned. And then you can see her being walked up there. And she's still stunned. But that is only part of the story, because what you see, for those of you who didn't see it, there's another part of it that helps put things in its proper context that the folks on The View and all the ladies who were cheering her on, there's a part that was missing there. Because this is the part that's missing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this with the audio off. Fair use, YouTube. Damn it. Fair use. And I want you to see what happened when she won her Emmy. I'm not going to say exactly shades of Will Smith, but take a look for yourselves what happened when she won her Emmy. So they're on the stage. They say her name. You see her sitting. Her husband is first to his feet. She's just there stunned. He got his hand on her back. He's real recessive about it. She's just sitting there stunned. And this fella here looks kind of familiar. I don't know if that's her son, but I don't know. It might be somebody else, but looks kind of familiar. So, dad here. And by the way, they don't have any children together, I don't believe. I think she got kids with someone else. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the case. So they're sitting there and she's getting up. She walks to the other side of the table. She does not walk past her husband. She gets walked the other way. Ain't no kiss, no hug on the cheek. Ain't nothing for you. She gets walked the other way. That chick right there, she gonna talk about her in a few moments. So she's getting marched up to the stage. Don't need your husband for this part. Oh boy, she been waiting half a century for this. And when she's allowed to give her speech, who did she shout out first when it's time for her to give her speech? Oh, she said, I'm gonna milk this moment.
I am an endangered species.
Auntie,
But I
chill.
sing no victim song. I am a woman. I am an artist.
All right. So she starts by belting out a tune for you. We're going to go ahead and just fast forward a little bit to the part where she starts talking.
To anyone who has ever had a dream and thought your dream wouldn't, couldn't come true, I am here to tell you that this is what believing looks like. This is what striving looks like. And don't you ever give up on you, because if you get a Quinta Brunson in your corner, if you get a husband like mine in your corner, if you get children like mine in your corner, and if you've got friends like everybody who voted for me, cheered for me, love me, thank you.
Interesting. So she gives when she actually names people, she says who's in her corner. She names Quinta Brunson, the chick who made the show. She puts her name ahead of her husband's.
Looks like, and don't you ever give up on you, because if you get a Quinta Brunson in your corner, if you get a husband like mine in your corner.
Now, could you imagine any black man getting his Oscar and he names the director and the producer before his wife, with his wife sitting right there? Could you imagine that? You thought this little interview here came out of nowhere and has no greater significance, it's not connected to anything else, you just thought it was like that? All right, let me go ahead and give you the 720 degrees of analysis you receive absolutely nowhere else, because, baby, if you think it's cold outside, let me go ahead and heat it up for you a little bit. She was happy to be there. When you take a look at her Instagram, it's very, very clear that she is still very, very much pining and interested in one Denzel Washington. And the fact that she and he are about the same age, she's making it very, very clear to him, by the way, just in case you need some signals. She is throwing that up because she's thinking about something. I submit to you and suggest to you that she's thinking about something, and what she's thinking about is this. Damn! I submit to you that she's thinking about that. And as she says to herself, after all this time, if I played my cards right, that shouldn't have been Denzel and Halle sitting up there. Why, I finally demonstrated that you've got your award, I've got mine. Why, when you think about it, it took me a few decades to catch up, but when you think about it, Denzel, you and me would actually make a pretty good couple when you consider it, Denzel. We'd actually make a pretty good couple there. No, this is just Jason sitting up here just saying things, right? Nothing connected here. We reaching. Somebody's going to say we're reaching. So whoever the person is saying we're reaching, I'll save you a little bit of time and say there's somebody who's going to say we're reaching. Despite everything we've shown you and that you've seen there, we're reaching. I went down her timeline. Because, of course, naturally we could be blowing things out of proportion. Maybe she's just like that with everybody. Maybe she is. So I went to go take a look at a few things. Here she is with Steve Harvey. You can see what she says about him. Good morning, Saints, Sorors, and Bros, too. Okay. Family Feud with the unstoppable Steve Harvey. All right. That's her with Steve Harvey. Nothing out of the ordinary there. All right. It's Steve Harvey. Got it. There she is with Primetime Dion. Dion was actually available. And she says primetime in the diva. All right. She wasn't slobbering all over Dion like that, though. She had access to Dion. He actually was available, and she wasn't slobbering all over Dion like that. She's sitting there smiling, so I guess she figured Dion was looking for something a whole lot younger and more athletic. So, all right. Here she is with Billy Porter. What? Yeah, buddy, looking like a hostage video. What she say? A Negro who thinks he can wear a dress better than me. So there she is with Billy Porter looking like Roland Martin is hugging up behind her. So yeah, she looks real anxious and I don't blame her. She looks real anxious and I do not blame her. So that's her and Billy Porter. So yeah, buddy, some folks don't stop looking like the freak show. But that is not what gets my attention the most. Where in the world is all of this coming from? Where in the world is all of this obvious contempt coming from? For a husband who we've never really heard anything bad about him. I submit and suggest to you all here tonight that it actually goes deeper than that. The pay thing is important because she makes considerably more money than he does. She makes considerably more money than he does. And I guess on the one hand, it would be okay if that were just a minor thing, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Because according to what I looked up, Mr. Hughes has been a state senator since like 94. That's a long time. That's a long time. Think about that for a few moments. That's a long time. Can you imagine being married to him and then you take a look at this? Then you take a look at this, and she tried to put her best little spin on it. Here, her husband is. What a stunning picture of my husband, who spoke today in Philadelphia before Barack Obama. So she wanted you to know that, by the way, Obama was going to be parachuting into town. That's not the problem. Here's the problem. The problem is that he's been a state senator. He's been one for quite a few years. And very clearly, he's not aspiring to anything else. He is married to a woman who has not quit striving, has not quit going for bigger things, who has not quit looking to see she can go the next rung in life, who is literally telling you, that I'm proof that the best is yet to come. In other words, what she's saying is at 69 years old, she hasn't peaked. At 69 years old, she is telling you, I have not peaked yet. I haven't hit my peak yet. And then you take a look at her husband. Now, let me say something else here. All I can say is there's some desperate dudes. Fellas, y'all have to stop doing that. You have to quit doing that. There's some fellas in here who are trying to redeem him. And what I'm saying is that's that simp spirit in you. You're going to have to cast it out. Well, Jason, he probably getting some kickbacks. Okay. First of all, probably not, because they would have busted him decades ago, because when we try to do what the white politicians do, it goes badly. So there's the first thing. The second thing is, why would you be dreaming that up? Something that you can't prove and something that you can't substantiate. If he was really ambitious, you'd be able to see it. You wouldn't have to sit here and fabricate things. You had fellas doing that last week and on Patreon, and they're back tonight. Well, Jason, he really high achieving. You know, he probably getting some kickbacks. Come on, dude. Come on, fellas. That's called trying to save face. In your desperation to make it seem like, well, he really winning, his woman isn't treating him like that. The woman who's married to him is not saying what you're saying. The woman who's married to him is not treating him like that. And furthermore, if he has to rely on that, basically dead man walking. So fellas are trying to fabricate and fantasize. It's not that bad. The situation ain't that weak. Okay. I know it's not comforting to look at the reality, but reality's brutal. You know what you can't fabricate? The fact that he's been a state senator for decades now and hasn't moved. He is helping other people. Listen to me now. He's a state senator in Pennsylvania, not a U.S. senator, a state senator in Pennsylvania who is spending his time helping other people far more ambitious than him climb up the ladder. Let me ask you all a question here. And I asked this on Patreon, so for those of you who are just joining us tonight, you hadn't thought about this. Do you think that Sheryl Lee Ralph would be mad if she woke up tomorrow and she was the first lady of the state of Pennsylvania? Damn! Do you think that she doesn't get up out of bed wishing that she were referred to in such elevated, hallowed tones? Hello, Miss First Lady? You think she doesn't think that would be damn nice? You think that she doesn't think that if she can win an Emmy, why can't her husband win the governorship? He's helping everybody else. And she is watching as other people who have entered politics after her husband are bypassing him. Everybody's talking about Josh Shapiro as the governor of Pennsylvania. Nobody is talking about Vincent Hughes at all. And I submit to you that she understands that. She's seen it. She understands it. She's watched it for years. And she knows that this is it. He's not going any higher. He's not moving any further. He's not doing any more. That where he is, he's maxed out. In the chat room, Okechukwu says she would be living 0 miles away if he were governor.
And deal with it, nigga.
Yeah, I mean, if he were the governor, do you all think that she would be bragging that she's thousands of miles away from him? How silly would that be? Do you think she would say something like that? Hell no, she'd be right there. If she were married to the governor of Pennsylvania, do you think that she would still be sitting up here so openly pining and openly slobbering for Denzel Washington? If that were the case. She is an ambitious woman going on 70 years old and letting you know that she is still an ambitious woman. But she's also having to accept the reality that she is married to a relatively unambitious man. He is fine right where he is. He's settled in right where he is. And that her tomorrows will look no different than today, not on account of him. Not on account of him, it won't. No. When she said that and everything, that came from somewhere. That came from a place. She's been sitting back watching this for decades now. She loves attention. She loves accolades. She loves titles. She loves acknowledgement. She loves achievement. And she's looking at Denzel, who's done all that. And then she's taking a look over at her husband, who after all this time, he hasn't done it, and he's not on his way to doing it now. How many decades do you think she can keep calling you the state senator of Pennsylvania and really be psyched about it? So that is why when after all these decades, she's gotten to a point now where she's like, nigga, I'm not even in a house with you, bruh. You have your own. What she's saying is that he's got his own separate life from her. And she wanted to say in front of the world on international television that, by the way, if a man want to holler at me, I'm right here. This nigga don't carry no weight. The only thing saying something like that signals to the world is that you are available. And when you take a look at her timeline, that's exactly what it says. She's available. Exactly what it says, she's available. And she's looking back to when she was bigger and better. She's looking at the last man who was actually in her life. I don't know if Denzel gave her the Oscar or not. I don't know. But what I will say is that she sure do spend a whole lot of time with all the people that she's been in all these TV series with and all these films with, and yet Denzel keeps getting special acknowledgement year after year after year, and you got a whole husband? This your husband, but this is your timeline. I want to know who are the fellas who are like Jason. I mean, you know, they entertain. Ain't nothing to it. Ain't nothing to it. Because I want to remind you of one more thing here. I want to remind you of one more thing. When you take a look at this particular, the one from 2024, when you take a look at that, it's a slideshow on here. First thing that you see is this one. Jet Magazine, The Mighty Quinn, February 20th, 1989. Damn! There are a bunch of you who weren't even born when that movie came out. 1989. What, Straight Outta Compton's NWA first album just came out? 1989. She's posting this. By the way, this one just from last month in December. She's posting that and this and this and this and this. And then you wonder why she's on People saying this.
Real career. We also live in separate places. When I go to see him, love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. You, life is.
Yeah, the woman who said that just last month posted this picture. The woman who said what you just heard posted this picture with Denzel. This your husband. This is what you posted last month. To the fallacy of the law-abiding citizen. The straight, square dude who fancies himself, well, he should get this and that and the other because he's a law-abiding citizen. And your woman does not have genuine passion for you. She does not have any genuine passion for you. Denzel probably has not spoken to her except speak to her maybe once or twice a year. And yet she letting y'all know. Fellas, I want to know who's think this is okay. It's just like, Jason, I would be all right with my woman posting this. That wouldn't bother me. I am secure in my manhood. She don't give a damn about Denzel's wife. She's like, Denzel, your wife is your problem. She is not concerned about Denzel's wife. She wants Denzel to know that, by the way, you and I are peers. When you think about it, we're a very good match. And that's the thing I want to know. Who are the fellas who would say, Jason, there's nothing wrong with this? Well, they just Hollywood folks there. But if my woman was posting pictures, gave a whole damn photo album with Denzel Washington, and then goes to People and proudly proclaims,
real career. I have my own real career. We also live in separate places. When I go to see him, love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. You, life is.
all right, them crazy eyes. Them crazy eyes, and she from the Caribbean too. So I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad if back in the day Denzel took her for the Caribbean cruise. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at all, brother. I definitely understand. Back in the day, oh, I'm sure it was on and popping. Absolutely. I'm sure back in the day it was on and popping, crackling, sizzling. But that was a long time ago, ma'am. And you got a whole new life now. And you need to just settle in with the state senator. And do you understand what the problem is, fellas? Women, ladies, I got to tell the guys the truth tonight because you all aren't going to tell them. You all are not going to tell the fellas the truth. So let me take this moment to go ahead and say reality to this. While you're all snowed in here tonight, we're going to give a moment to have some reflection. If you're sitting there with your boo thing, if some of what I'm saying sounds a little bit too accurate, a little too close to home, a little bit too familiar, you might want to just turn this off because I promise you it's not going to get better. This is your fair warning. But if what I'm saying tonight sounds a little bit too accurate, a little bit too close to home, a little bit too familiar to some of the things you live with, and she's sitting right there, you might want to just skip tonight's program, come double back. Come double back later. Fellas, the ladies lie, and the reason I bring up Sheryl Ralph is because it's just a confirmation about what the lie is. It's just a confirmation about what the lie actually is. And what the lie actually is that no woman wants to, certainly not a woman like her, she doesn't want to be irrelevant. And she certainly does not want to outshine the man that she's with. And there's a reason for that. Because, listen to me, one of Jason's laws, you can write it down, etch it in stone. One of the lies that men don't understand is when you think that if you and her are doing the same, you're okay. That's not the way that works. In a woman's mind, write it down. In a woman's mind, a man who is doing as good as her is doing worse than her.
What?
That is female psychology and female psyche. I am not discussing dating. I'm talking power dynamics. In the female mind, as a man, if you are only doing, quote, as good as she is, then you are doing worse than her. If you are only, quote, on her level, then you are beneath her. If she makes $50,000 a year and you make $50,000 a year, far as she's concerned, you make 20. And that's the reality. You can call it whatever you want to, but that's female psyche. A man who is doing as good as she is doing worse. You're doing bad if you're only doing as good as she is. So when you tell yourself that you're keeping up and you're doing well and you're doing all right, what exactly are you comparing that to? Now I'm going to make things even worse for you. Let me go ahead and throw up the little slideshow for you here. Now to make things worse for you. Remember when I just said that if you're doing as well as she is, you're actually doing worse? Remember when I said that? Well, there's another dimension to that you might not have considered. When I say that in a woman's mind, if you're on the same level as she is, you are actually beneath her, that also goes socially. That's not just financially. That's socially as well. If you are not more well-known, more popular, more personable, people are not saying your name more, if you are not above her, not just financially, but socially, if you are not above her, you're beneath her. That's why you see her trotting out Denzel's name. You know why? Because everybody knows who Denzel is. And there are politicians who are as well known as Denzel Washington or more well known. She's just not married to any of them. Damn! There's the only problem with that is she's not married to any of them. So she's got to sit there and look at you every day knowing that there isn't anything better. And she literally just did a People magazine cover where she sat there and proudly proclaimed that the best is yet to come at 69. Now, there may be a discrepancy about whether she's 68 or 69. They put on their thing there, she's 69. Okay, we'll let them have it. But the bottom line is that, by the way, she's letting you know I haven't peaked yet. Okay, Denzel is still out here. He's rumoring about maybe retiring. But the bottom line is everybody knows who Denzel is. Why is she going out of her way? Because Denzel is relevant and she wants to be relevant. Fellas, no female wants to be irrelevant. You can pay the bills, you can pay the rent. That's great, that's grand, that's wonderful. Far as she's concerned, okay, what else you got? Rondé, the simple answer to your question is no. No. As long as she looks up online and even at damn near 70 years old, I mean, dude, she still got them breast implants flopping out. She is letting you know. She still thinks that thing is viable. She got swimsuit pictures on her Instagram. So no, sir. And you know why? Because there's actually some pretty good evidence behind that. This goes to the other dirty little secret, which is that men lie. I mean, I can sit here and keep chirping about she's going on 70 years old. I can keep saying that, but here's the issue. The issue is there's a whole bunch of fellas who say, oh, wait a minute, she's too old to be doing that. But she's like, as long as she feels like that if she gets you alone, you are not going to turn down sexual access to her. She's like, she's not listening to what your mouth says. There's the real reason that women disregard men as a group, because as men, when you're here in front of me and you have to have a moment of you have to actually be objective, you'll say one thing, but that strong foe over there working in the produce section at Albertsons that you were dissing, it's like, okay, and yes, she stayed pregnant, and yet she stayed sitting somewhere, and yes, she stayed with some dude calling, a bummer otherwise. So women understand that men don't do what men say. We say don't believe what a woman says, believe what she does. Well, guess what? That goes both ways. Men say a lot of things, but the average female is like, yeah, men say a lot of things. Take a look at what they do. And if you get him by himself, don't be surprised if he says or does something different. And they see men do that all the time. So, yeah. Absolutely. Please don't get it twisted. Okay, let me ask y'all a question. For the fellas out there who might be like, oh, Jason, no. That would be a violation. I got one question that will put all that bull jive to rest. What do you think her DMs look like? Damn! Okay, if you really do believe that ain't nobody checking for it, all right, I'll let you have whatever you think. But one question, what do you think her DMs look like? What do you think her DMs look like? I mean, you can say that all you want to, but by the way, okay. You got fellas in here talking about Angela Bassett. How old is Angela? How old is Angela? Yeah, there you go. There's a brutal dose of reality. You know full damn well what her DMs are looking like. She just waiting for a winner to come sliding up through there. But until then, and she's making sure that folks understand that she's still about the business. This fella here don't do nothing but pay the damn bills. She's still about the business. She's still about it. And don't think it's just a bunch of old dudes either. There's another fallacy. You might want to believe that because like, okay, we'll be safe. It's not necessarily a bunch of old dudes neither. Brittany Renner and Drea Michelle. It's some young dudes out here. If they can catch him early enough while he's trying to spread his little wings. Oh, take a look at who we found here.
I just want to tell you, you should have been here. You should have experienced this. Because you see me here with the one burner boy? Yes, it's your mother right here, baby. All right, I know you're having a good time. But you see the time I'm having right here? Right, I just want you to see it, honey. Okay, burner boy, the fire is hot, honey. It's hot. Yes. Coco, I just want to tell you, you should have...
Okay. You still gonna question me? You still gonna argue with it? Still gonna debate it? Still gonna argue? Okay. All right. It's just a bunch of old dudes. All right. Okay. All right. Never mind. Okay. This is reality. This is why females defy men as a group today. You want to know what's wrong with female culture? What's wrong with female culture is a lot of these dudes. What is so-called wrong with female culture today is a lot of these dudes. As men, we're not consistent. And the women know this. They've known it for thousands of years. You'll say one thing, but she gets you off by herself. Next thing you know, the energy done changed. Yeah, some of y'all like, I ain't never heard her accent before. And she ain't never notice when she gets happy, that Caribbean accent come popping out. When she gets happy, she would burn a boy.
Right, I just want you to see it, honey.
Okay, but when she was at the Oscars, same thing. You heard that voice come popping out. When she got excited, when she started talking, you hear that voice popping out.
You that this is what believing looks like. This is what striving looks like. And don't you ever give up on you.
Okay, that accent pop out when she get excited and get happy. All right. I know it's a hard pill to swallow. I know some of y'all were told the winter is coming. I know some of you were told it's going to be hard out there. And yes, it absolutely is, believe me. But you better understand what the reasons are. The reasons are multidimensional. The reasons are multidimensional. And if you don't understand what it is, then you'll be sitting there with this chick and you've been married to her for 2 damn decades. One day you end up like Richard Lawson with Tina Knowles. And dude, you're just here. And you're saying, well, what did I do wrong? Dude, you didn't do enough. You didn't do enough. You can like it, you can dislike it, you can whatever, but you didn't do enough. Status matters to a woman. Status matters. Men don't understand the secret world of females. Status matters. You're not going to get her to just give that up and walk away from it because it makes your life easier. Status matters. And your performance as a man is her status. No female is really hoping for a dude who's just old. She idealizes you being able to perform. So her husband can't get by. He can't get by on just saying, well, he's a good law-abiding citizen. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Please understand that she's 69 years old. She's the same age as her husband. Well, Denzel is 70. Okay, do you know what she's thinking? What she's thinking is, I'll be damned. So Denzel Washington hasn't peaked. Denzel Washington is not done. But the man I'm married to has been done for decades. He is a state employee, unless he loses election, but he's a state employee, and that's it. I've got more fame, more notoriety, more money, more drive, more success. He's known as my husband. I'm not known as his wife. He doesn't outstrip me in achievements, in intellect, in notoriety, in capability, in drive and ambition. Come on now. This isn't just Jason Black talking. I've shown you the paperwork. And all she's thinking to herself is, how the hell is it that you and Denzel are the same age? Denzel is still busting through things and still leading blockbusters, and he is still performing at a very high level, and you stopped performing decades ago. How can that be? You think she's going to let that off easy? You think she's just going to be okay with that? No. That's how you end up showing up on The View with them talking dog ass crazy. And I'm sitting there talking about, oh, this is a good marriage. What the hell? So you supposed to stand in front of bullets right after she says something like that? Is, I'm protecting my father. She's literally sitting up there saying that. As a man, you understand that don't work. And there are a bunch of men listening to me right now. That is exactly the situation that you're in. Now, here's the killing thing about it. She done waited 2 decades of marriage, 2 decades. That means she can sit here and act a straight donkey. What can he do? What can he do? He gonna get up and leave? You know how that's gonna go. No, he's just gonna have to sit there and take it. He's a politician. Politicians don't like getting divorced. Okay, let me explain something to you all here. By the way, the link for the Zoom has been pinned at the top of the chat room. I want my married men and my men in long-term relationships. I want my fellas who've been with a woman for 8 or 10 years at least. Tell me if what you see on Sheryl Lee Ralph's Instagram that I've shown you tonight, the fellas who think that's okay, ain't no problem. I need you to call me up and explain that to me. I need you to call me up and explain that to me. Now, let me go ahead and deal with something right quick. In the chat room, somebody said open marriage. Folk were saying that last week. Please understand something, folks. An open marriage is only a good thing if it is the man who comes forward to talk about it.
Deal with it, nigga.
That's the bottom line. There is no such thing as a good open marriage when your woman is coming forward and hinting that that's the situation. Jada Pinkett. If you as the man are telling people or hinting that means you're in control of it. If the woman is doing that, what she's saying is this nigga is inconsequential. Hey, all you fellas out there, come and get it. That's the problem. Saying open marriage is a flex only for a man. When your woman says or hints open marriage, that's emasculation. She is saying that I want to feel dominated. I'm letting you all know I is available because I want to feel dominated. So the man who's supposed to be doing it, I'm not quite feeling that dominance factor here. Where's the alpha at? Oh, you can do it guilt-free. We got an open marriage. Oh, he over there, I'm over here. Open marriage is not a flex when your woman is the one yakking her mouth about it. You've already lost as a man. You're done. There's no way you can flex about that. When that starts being said, it's over. You all cannot name a single man anywhere who the words open marriage came out of his woman's mouth and everything was okay after that. Will Smith, Tiana Taylor, we can go down the list. You can't name anybody who said those words and everything stayed okay. Your woman is not supposed to be signaling that she is open and available. She's not supposed to be signaling that. If she does, she's calling another man over to take your territory. Which means that she's looking for someone else to establish dominance, not over her, but over you. That's why it doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work, because it can't work. So those are pleasing rationales that men might want to say, but it's like, it doesn't really work that way. It doesn't work that way. As a man, you can entertain the company of other women and your relationship to her will stay intact. A woman cannot entertain the company of multiple men and her relationship to you remain intact. That can't be. That cannot be. Because if she's doing it for a reason. She's doing it for a reason. Miss JMPW, hold up what? Hold up what? Sheryl Lee Ralph is indicative of a lot of what you're seeing out here. She is indicative of a lot of what you're seeing out here. Fellas, don't jump off in it if you're not ready for it. If you're not ready for the realities of it. Folks, I know you're kind of glitching. Fellas are like, but she's 70, but she's 70, but she's 70. The bottom line is she don't care. She been sitting with that dude since she was like 48. It's been 2 decades. She don't give a damn no more. She can't sit on it any longer. She been sitting on it now for 2 damn decades. She does not care about, this is not about her. This is about her letting you know I'm not all right with the damn status quo. I'm not okay with it, and I don't care if this humiliates him or whatever. Because as far as she's concerned, even from the age of 48, far as she's concerned, she was prime real estate even at the age of 48 with a couple kids. Far as she's concerned, even when she was 48 with a couple of kids, that she was basically doing him a favor. And so now, even if she doesn't hit him up for alimony or anything else, she's like, let me humiliate your ass on my way out the door. Because that's not going to go away. Let me just humiliate you and emasculate you on my way out the door. Let me just tell the world, by the way, whatever. And there are a lot of guys listening to me right now. They're in the same boat. You haven't filed the divorce papers because you're sitting up here adding up your 401k, adding up your pension, trying to ask yourself, oh, hell, can I live on half of this for another 10, 20 years? There's a bunch of fellas listening to me right now. Your female is showing clear signs of nostalgia for another man. I'm just talking about Sheryl Ralph. But by the way, there's a bunch of fellas in here right now. This is your life. This is where you are. This is what you living with. This is what you've been doing. Hell, this is what you're doing now. With a woman showing very clear signs that, by the way, I knew a fella who was more accomplished. There's the reason why body count matters and exes matter, and you need to know all this. Let me tell you, fellas, if your chick ever laid up with Denzel Washington, she is vulnerable.
And deal with it.
Do not tell me that your chick ever laid up with Denzel Washington at any time in her life and you're not vulnerable. They didn't even have to have sex. She would just sit there in the damn room and rub his big toe. And she gonna be looking at your damn toes crazy the rest of her damn life. And you can't figure out why. Please understand those are the rules of the road. The problem with Mr. State Senator is that he is indicative of a whole bunch of other people. That was the reason why I dug into this, and everybody else is not put it in its proper context. I felt it was essential to go ahead and do that because without that, you don't understand what you're actually looking at. So you're telling yourself that, oh, well, doesn't really matter. Don't have to be rich and famous. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but her husband makes $147,000 a year. I have a bunch of guys in this room right now who make that much money or more. And that's when you realize, that's not really a lot. I mean, yeah, if you're a single man with no kids, $147,000 in America today is comfortable, but $147,000 in Philadelphia, $147,000 in DC, $147,000 in Atlanta, $147,000 in Miami. I'm not even naming New York or LA. I'm naming a bunch of other places. $147,000 in Charlotte, $147,000 in Nashville, $147,000 in Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, St. Paul. $147,000 and you're married. You are married to a chick on a hit television series in Hollywood and you make $147,000. What I'm telling you is that you need more than that. You're going to need more than that, Doc. You got to bring more than that, dude. That's not enough. I'm a law-abiding citizen. That's not enough. That's not enough. In the chat room, my point is it doesn't matter if they get divorced and there's no alimony at all. She's emasculating him now. She's emasculating him now. What good is it? If you have to sit there and gotta take them body blows, what good is it? That's a hell of a spot to be in. With him going on 70 years old, there's another thing right there. Who the hell wants to be getting divorced at 70? Damn! He's 70 years old. He's been married for 2 decades. He didn't marry her because he wants to get a divorce. Come on, fellas, wake up here. Let's do some critical thinking. No one wants to get married. No man is looking to go through the trouble and the hardship of getting married just so he can get divorced at 70. All these coping mechanisms. Oh, well, it can be an open marriage. You know, we can get divorced and have to pay alimony. What the hell? Why didn't you just stay single and eliminate all these complications? Why would you be putting yourself in legal peril and under legal threat if you were just going to get divorced in the first place? Or if it's better to be divorced, why the hell are we married? There's the issue. What is the benefit of him marrying her if this what we gonna do is 70? 70. She didn't do this at 50. She did it at 70. She wants to start throwing this out there at 70. So he's supposed to be back on the dating market or the open market at 70 years old? Come on, man. You talking about who's looking for a chick in her 70s? Who's checking for a state senator in his 70s? Who's checking for him? Another 70-year-old? Damn! Come on now. Take a look at the state you're in. You have never heard a female say, you know what, I sure do help the state rep divorce his wife. You ain't never heard that. You've never been at a political rally in your state or turned on the news in your state and heard your state senator or state representative get the same reception as Denzel Washington and Idris Elba do. Come on, man. If it goes down, it'll be on his own. If it goes down, it'll be on his own. Somebody said Bill Belichick bagged a 24-year-old. No, Bill Belichick didn't. The NFL bagged a 24-year-old. Damn! Please understand that. The NFL bagged a 24-year-old. She thinking about box seats and proximity to one of them washboard abs athletes. The NFL bagged a 24-year-old. I don't care whether it's Phil Jackson or whoever. Yeah, the NBA bagged a 25-year-old. That's what happened now. The NFL did that. Playing long and short game. If a fella his age grabs a 24-year-old, he gonna get what he gonna get. If you think that a 24-year-old has anything in common with a 70 or 80-year-old, I'm like, we have completely forgotten and disregarded the lessons of Anna Nicole Smith. For those of us who were there and remember Anna Nicole Smith, we remember what the hell she said. She was sitting there telling the whole damn world the whole time, oh, well, people just don't understand our relationship. I really love him. Soon as old boy kicked over and fell and died, she said our relationship was a financial arrangement. Yeah, Donald Sterling, we can go down the list. What the hell? She's a young chick who sees a dude who can buy her a Rolls Royce. She's like, this is the fast lane. He is the express lane to me doing something these fellas my age group can't do. Let the wrinkly old man have his way, and then she can go trot to the Mercedes dealership or the Bentley dealership or whichever one she wants to go to. And that's it. But I want you to understand exactly what's happening in this regard because I spoke about it last week and I didn't get to go into the details that I wanted to there. And this is a very common situation. Fellas, being a nice guy, I guess there's a place in this world for it, but do you understand that when a female feels like she's settled, she'll be sitting right there next to you for years or decades? And she's like, I settled. And she's hostile. And she's angry. And she's unhappy. Because she is expecting life to change and continue changing. And it ain't going nowhere. You as the man are just hoping, hey, we just need to sit back and cruise. And she's like, where are we going next? And you're like, we going to bed next. And she's like, we just got out of bed. That's right, we're going back. You doing the Birdman hand rub. Do you realize that in that moment, she now feels like she's settled? Women don't like to see men having a routine. Well, it's true. Women don't like seeing men just sitting around the house. Oh, can I get the women in here tonight to be honest? There is not enough matrimony and commitment in the world to get you to respect or admire a man who is sitting around the house all day. Don't give a damn how much he makes. Don't give a damn if he has a solid fixed income. Don't give a damn where he stays at. You think less of him when you get up in the morning and there he is sitting in front of the TV. He's talking about he's cooling. Hey, I'm taking it easy. And the first thing you want to do is kick him in his ass. Hey, be useful. And the fellas are like, I'll be damned. That's why I built a man cave. Let me be. And your woman is sitting there like, no. This is ridiculous. I'm not married to a man. I'm married to a piece of furniture. Fellas, you might get 1 or 2 days a week to take off, but you got to be at it and getting it. You got to be at it and getting it. What I'm saying, and it's even worse if your woman is still working. Sheryl Ralph is still working. So every day she gets up, she's comparing her performance and her results to her man's. And she's telling herself, nigga, I'm whooping you. That's what's going on. She's like, get a part-time job, get a hobby, do something that I can be proud of. And you like, I already done work. I'm ready to sit down now. And the brutal reality is women will not tell you this. That's how you end up. Oh, you fellas, you ain't gonna like what you're gonna hear here next. That's how you end up being the 50 or 60 or 70-year-old dude paying the bills, talking about I'm a law-abiding citizen, and your woman is getting flip-flopped by, quote-unquote, the pool boy.
And deal with it, nigga.
The pool boy is working. She can look out the window and see what he's doing and see what he's accomplishing. He's changing the world, even if it's just fishing leaves out the damn pool. So let me get this straight. You're sitting on the couch, looking at the big screen TV, reminiscing about the work you did 30 years ago. And meanwhile, the kid out there by the pool is having more of an impact on the world and is more consequential than you are. And you talking about, well, I'm paying the bills around here. Fellas, do you understand? Oh, I'm saying too damn much tonight. I shouldn't say this at all. I need to let y'all just sit on it. I know it's hot outside. Oh, I know it's hot outside. I shouldn't say any of this. I know it's hot outside. I mean, I know it's cold outside. I shouldn't say anything at all. I should just leave it alone. I know it's cold outside. It's snowing for some of y'all, but I'm going to fire up the cauldron for just a moment, and then I'm going to turn it back off again. To all the men in here listening to me, regardless of your age, there's a simple, mathematical, empirical, concrete reality that you've disregarded when you start talking about, well, I paid for the bills and put the roof over the head, and you're saying that those are concrete accomplishments. Do you understand that your payment of the bills is invisible? What? Do you understand that? Most of you don't. You're not going to like hearing what you just heard. I need you to understand your payment of the bills is invisible. Yeah, it has a real world result, but it's invisible. If you have it, especially like if you have it set up for direct deposit or something, for auto payment, brother, the lights are just on and they stay on. There's no bill anymore. There's no due date. There's no work being put in. There's no confirmation of effort. It's invisible. You can't be given a credit for stuff that can't be seen. And you're sitting up here trying to point up at the damn ceiling like some conspiracy theorist chasing UFOs. Look at the light's on. You're over there furiously turning on the thermostat. See, heat, cold. Please understand, your payment of the bills is invisible. The transfer of funds from your bank account to a utility, your bank account to another bank, your bank account to the car dealership is invisible. It's not something that can be seen. It's something you know. And if you don't do it, it's something that will cause a problem. But understand, after about a year, certainly after 2 years, brother, out of sight, out of mind. It's like air at that point. She considers that to be a given. Damn right, Tony. You're not actually, in many cases, you're not even appreciated when you're gone. What? I just want you guys out there who can't understand why things went south and can't understand how it happened, don't see what went wrong, and you're fiercely patting yourself on the back and telling yourself, I'm doing a great job here, and then can't understand, they're just ungrateful. Do you understand that when she was dating you, paying the bills was visible? When y'all are long-term relationship or married, paying the bills becomes invisible. And now you're telling me that you're coasting on her. You're betting that she, on her own honor, is going to remember that you're still doing this, and that she, of her own volition, will just be continuously grateful that you're doing it. That's the problem. You are hoping that she, of her own volition, will just spontaneously remember every month that you're the one responsible for this. And she can't even see it anymore. It's invisible. Paying the mortgage is invisible. Paying off the mortgage. That's why you're sitting up here patting yourself in the back, and some of you goofballs sit up here and talk about, hey, baby, we only got 5 more payments till the mortgage is paid off. Dude, if the mortgage has been invisible to her for 10 years, then she didn't see when you were paying it, and she won't see when you stop paying it. Oh, I'm hurting a lot of feelings here tonight with some logical, rational thinking. Did you actually consider that for a few moments? She didn't notice it when you were doing it. She won't notice it when you stop. That's a milestone that you are making in your own head. Oh, I'm hurting some feelings. I got some folks in here crying emojis and every damn thing else. They're like, I'll be damned. So that's why. Don't send me your divorce paperwork. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I warned you before you started the program to turn me off. I warned you. And what I'm saying is that if your accomplishments become invisible, you become invisible. If you give her the money to pay the bills, that's even worse. You're now delegating responsibility to her. Men, do not believe because the money came out of your pocket that she's going to see that as this is his money. Can't believe I got to tell Merriman this. You hand her money. Do you really think that she thinks that's your money just because you earned it and you handed it to her? How many times I got to remind you fellas? You do understand that women really do believe that we owe them something if they have sex. women really do believe that you owe her. If she been throwing her legs open to you, you owe her that. Nigga, what you talking about? You paying the light bill. I've been laying up with you for 2 years. You owe me some electricity.
And deal with it, nigga.
Females really do it. Nigga, I've been laying up with you for 2 years. You owe me a trip to Cancun. I could have been sleeping with your damn cousin. Nigga, you owe me a trip to Barbados. I've been sleeping with you since New Year's 2022. Nigga, you owe me a trip to Morocco. Acting like you doing something big. She like, and I'm taking it easy on your ass. Really, I should be getting me a trip of a tour to Europe is what I should be getting. But I'm letting you off easy by just going to Barbados. There's not a female in here who don't really think that. There's not a female in here who doesn't truly believe that. If there are any honest women in here tonight and can tell the truth that, by the way, when you say that you'll take a trip to Cancun, you really think you're taking it easy on him. You're like, hey, I'm really letting you off easy. Give me the airplane emoji in the chat room, ladies. If you're honest that when you told him we can go to Cancun, you were really thinking, you know what, I should be getting a tour of Europe, but you should be happy all I asked for was Cancun. Give me the plane emoji if we got any honest women in here tonight. If we got any honest women, if she's telling the truth, it's, I'm really taking it easy on you. I'm really being lightweight with you. I mean, nigga, you should be able to do Cancun. I actually deserve a trip to Australia. Now, that's what I actually deserve is a month-long trip to Australia right after we get done in Dubai. But I'm really taking it easy on you. I'm really being nice by just saying I would take Cancun. I'm really just being nice with that. Okay. Fellas, y'all can think these chicks are playing with these airplanes in here if you want to. You can think they kidding if you want to. They just being, I'm just the only guy on YouTube or on the internet who just gets them to be honest. Yeah, this is what they really feel. This is what they really feel. I'm taking it How you expect me to be grateful that we're going to Cancun? You ain't even really paying what my weight is. You owe me a trip to Costa Rica. Talking about me being grateful. You owe me that? Okay. Reality can be brutal. Oh, Alonda said he should be glad I wore that Halara miniskirt for him. Damn! What she say? She looking to pick something up when she get there. She's like, just in case he act a fool, let me get something nice so I can pick up something when I get there. Fellas, okay. Oh, am I going to have to go deep off in it tonight? Somebody just said something about Dubai. Do I got to go deep off in it tonight? Let me explain to you. This is not dating. This is power dynamics. This is power dynamics. I told you all last week that women love a rebel because rebels lead. Rebels are the only people who lead. Okay, that's the reason why they like you rebels. They're the only ones who lead. Well, it's true. It's true. But also one more thing. You sit up here and talk about these things that cost money. You talk about these things that cost money. What you don't realize is that, fellas, do you understand that the things don't matter to women, not the way you think? Do you understand that the things don't matter, not the way you tell yourself it does? The things don't matter. It's what the things represent that matters. Please understand that. You see it as a pair of red bottoms, a handbag. But for the women, and a lot of them don't really understand it either, but the truth is, it's not about the things, it's about what the thing represents. That thing is a trophy. It is an accomplishment. It represents something to her. It's a mile marker in life. It demonstrates to her a tangible medium of her value. It removes guessing from the equation. She doesn't have to guess anymore. She can sit and take a look at it. It removes ambiguity. So when you sit there and attempt to start debating and negotiating about the things, what you don't understand is that the things have value, but it's not really the value that you've told yourselves. The value is that it represents something. It's not about the items, it is about what the items represent. And that's why when it comes to you, that the mantra is perform or perish. When a female sees that you put in that amount of time, you're showing her that you can stay dedicated and focused. You can stay committed. You can outperform. You can bring home the results. It answers so many questions. So it's not about the things, it's about what the thing represents. It's not about the trip to Cancun, it's about what the trip to Cancun represents. It is not about those things, it's about what the things represent. They are a status symbol and a accomplishment that cannot be faked. She's either in Cancun or she ain't. She either got the red bottoms or she don't. She either got the part of the bag or she doesn't. She's either with a man who is outperforming other men or she's not. You can't fake your way through it. She doesn't have to ask herself where she stands in the pecking order. She doesn't have to question whether or not she can be flexed on by another female or another man for that matter. So it's about what the things represent. That's why the house is only impressive the first time. It's not impressive the second or third or fourth. Getting a bigger one and a bigger one, you get diminishing returns. It only had its value the first time you did it. After that, you've now shown that that's the bar. Oh man, fellas ain't gonna like this. Fellas, remember, women only step up, they don't step down if they can avoid it. If you bought the house, that's no longer an accomplishment. As soon as you do that, once you buy the house, that is now the standard. That is now the bar. And you can go above it, but you don't get any credit for meeting the standard, and you damn sure lose credit for going below it. So once you meet the standard, once you make that the bar, that's the new given. She expects you to do that because you've demonstrated you've done that. Okay, that's expected. That is expected. Oh man, that's going to hurt a lot of feelings right there. What you mean? I thought I can just keep going back and cashing in. I can cash in nostalgia value. Just thought I'd take a moment there to remind you that's the way they think. That's the way they feel. That's the way they are. And they really mean that because you've established that as the standard. Well, Jason, what do we do then? How do we make sure we're not getting slipped a fast one or whatever? Because Sheryl is showing you. The problem becomes when men think they can purchase respect, which is what a simp does. Did you ask yourself, how much did I make her sacrifice before I did this? How much of herself was she required to give? How much of herself was she required to put into this? Because that's going to determine how much value it has. When she goes to her job, she works her fingers to the bone. She takes all kinds of crazy risks. When the white folks say jump, she says how high. She comes to you and you just Santa Claus. Did you ask yourself how much sacrificing you required of her before you started performing? That doesn't mean that you do not have performance. The thing is that she has to actually invest herself in it. If that doesn't happen, yikes. You see, to get Denzel Washington gonna cost you. Getting Denzel is gonna cost you. Getting Idris Elba is gonna cost you. Getting Michael B. Jordan is gonna cost you. That's going to cost you to get them. You're gonna have to fight, scrape, scratch, claw, beat out your competition. You might have to knock 2 or 3 hoes out, not just one. Damn! Not gonna be enough to get just one. It's going to cost you to end up with him. Well, no wonder she A, values it, and B, don't want to let it go. That cost. If you could get Denzel Washington in 6 months and 2 trips to Starbucks, how much value you think that's going to be? I don't give a damn what he does. It was too damn easy. Obviously, it wasn't worth very much because it's too damn easy. Oh, I'm busting up a lot of feelings here tonight. I'm hurting a lot of feelings here tonight because, folks, a lot of fellas do not want to hear about what settling really is and why that really happens. Most men want to believe that if I'm a law-abiding citizen and I quote-unquote make a good income, I should be home free and she should just sit there for the rest of her damn life and just be grateful. And what you just made and articulated was an excellent moral and spiritual argument. It's just not a logical or physical one. That attitude makes sense from your own moral, spiritual position. But other than that, it doesn't actually make any sense. In the chat room, Pat says she took the easy way out. Here's the issue here. For females, they don't see it that way. They vacillate from one thing to another. 1 minute they're sure they can get better. The next minute they're unsure they can get better. So they're going back and forth. If you can catch her during the time where she's really afraid if she can do better or not, and she's really questioning if she can do better or not, yeah, you might be able to get her to trip and stumble and fall over the finish line. But boy, you're taking a hell of a risk. You're taking a hell of a risk. There are a lot of fellas here tonight who, they're sitting in the same damn boat. You are not aspirational, and the female that you are with is. Let me tell you something right now. There are a lot of fellas right here, right now. Listen to me today. If your woman is pursuing a degree and you aren't, you're in trouble. Damn! I said that. If you are with a black woman who is pursuing a degree tonight and you aren't, you're in trouble. If you don't make 5 times what she makes, you're in trouble. If that female is chasing a degree, I don't care if you make twice as much as she does. If she's chasing a degree that will put her within 20% of what you make, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Presidential Mike, if she's losing body weight, if she's in the gym and you ain't, yeah, you're in trouble. Yeah, you really are. She doesn't even have to be studying with anybody else. I'm just talking about if she wants it. There's nothing she can do with that degree except make more money. For a female, that's why President Mike is right. For a female, getting a degree is like a female losing weight. She's going to go from former broke to currently got it. Well, that's like going from a former fatty to being fit. Oh, she's going to see you differently. What I'm saying is that what do you do when your resourcefulness becomes redundant? Because you do understand that's what it is, right? If she's within 20% of what you make, your resourcefulness is redundant. Now, if you make 4 or 5 times what she makes, she's like, oh, there's no point in even doing this. I got a bunch of dudes right now. Your woman is on the way out the damn door. You don't even understand it. She's sitting up here doing online courses as we speak, and you don't understand it. Let me hurt some feelings tonight, because it's a cold-ass world out here. But let me go ahead and throw the snow back up on the screen for you all. It's a cold-ass world out here tonight. Fellas, there's a bunch of you dudes right now don't understand it. The chick you with started nursing classes, and you don't understand your relationship is on the way to being over. Damn! There are fellas right now who do not understand. Yo, female, if you got a female that enrolled in nursing classes, you're done. You are through. And you don't even understand it. I want somebody to tell me I'm lying about that. Fella, if you've been with her for 3 or 5 years and all of a sudden she done jumped up and started some nursing classes, I have yet to meet a single female at any walk of life that was with a man, started taking nursing classes, and the relationship didn't end. I have yet to meet or see a single one. That one's got damn near a 100% failure rate. And every chick in here right now is laughing her ass off because, look, take a look at me in the chat room. They're laughing their asses off because they know I'm right. They're like, damn, Jason, you snitched us out. Got a bunch of nurses in here right now. You know damn well that's the truth. If she's with you and then she starts taking some nursing classes, that's step 1 to leaving you. And every time that she steps up the ladder, whoever she with, she about to leave you. I mean, unless you're like the chief of cardiology, and then she just leaves you last. Damn! What? Unless you're the chief of cardiology, and then she'll leave you last. But yeah, she get her CNA, if she was with Pookie when she got her CNA or her LPN, she get her LPN, Pookie gone. Whoever she's with her LPN, he gonna be gone when she gets her RN. Whoever she's with her RN, he gonna be gone when she gets her BSN. And if she goes on a nurse practitioner or some sort of specialty, you gonna be gone. Unless you make 4 or 5 times what she's gonna be making, every time she steps up to that new level in nursing, you gone. There's not a female in here who's gonna say I'm lying. Not a one. I'm bringing up nurses as just one example. We can go down a bunch of other lists. We already had that program a couple of weeks ago. Careers for hoes. Doesn't matter whether it's nursing, legal, military, you name it. As she moves up the ladder, the only way if she's walking away from you financially, she's meeting your level. I said at the beginning of the program, if what she is doing puts her on your level, far as she's concerned, you two being on the same level means that you are beneath her. If you two met, you making 100,000, she was making 40,000. If she starts making 90,000, far as she's concerned, you now make 60,000. That's the truth. If you and the female you're with, if your incomes are equivalent, as far as she is concerned, you make less than she does. Simply because you make the same thing. You make less. There's not a man in here over the age of 40 who hadn't realized that one. If your woman makes the same money, far as she's concerned, you make less than she does. And the reason for that is because she can now no longer look up to you. She's looking over at you. She's not looking up anymore. She can't lie to herself about that. People lie, but money don't. Accomplishments don't. Forget money. Accomplishments don't lie either. If she sees that she is still racking up accomplishments, racking up achievements, racking up titles, far as she's concerned, you're losing. If she's a female in the military and she's rising up in rank, and the man she's with is sitting still, far as she's concerned, nigga, I need to let these fellas in Saudi Arabia ride me because you ain't keeping up. In the chat room, THS Sam Snare, give me a call on Zoom. We're going to have a little discussion about that statement. That's a very important thing there. So go ahead and give me a call up on Zoom. Very important point to make there. Let me go ahead and I need to refresh the Zoom link while I'm at it. So let me go ahead and refresh that Zoom link. Okay, brother. Everybody, if you have a cell phone, Zoom works perfectly fine. Let's not do that one. If you have the ability to be on the internet in this chat room, Zoom works for you. It works just fine. If you can be in this chat room on YouTube, Zoom works just fine. Trust me. This is a teaching moment, and that's very important. It's a teaching moment because, you see, reality is always going to win out. Reality is always going to win out. Sheryl Ralph is not talking the way she is because she's guessing her way through it. She's talking the way that she is because she sees how men respond in the real world. If Sheryl Ralph was getting zero play and zero response, that would be a different matter. She's not getting zero response. If you think her DMs are empty, you're a new fool. Now, she might not have any exactly what she wants, but her DMs are not empty. Now, somebody jumped up on Zoom and then they jumped off of it, so clearly it works. Somebody jumped on Zoom and then they jumped off, so clearly it works. These will be brutal truths and brutal realities, but they're necessary to learn because there's so much disinformation and misinformation running around out here. You got people sitting up here telling you that your best sexual option is a damn sex doll or AI or video games or some other garbage. And that's the problem. But the real world is always going to come into view. Can I just be brutally honest for just a few moments here? Don't worry, the cauldron is still bubbling. Let's be clear about something. I meant what the hell I said before. You can go get all the sex dolls you damn well want to. You can sit up here and grab all the AI you'd like. There is no substitute for an actual female. Something as simple as body heat. We covered this here a few weeks ago. You next to something with some triple D cups, if you're close enough to feel her body heat, there is going to be a biochemical, physiological reaction. You're not going to have any control over that. If she smells nice, you're not going to have any control over that. If she smells nice and you can feel body heat emanating, you're not going to have any control over that. That's not going to be something you can sit there and, rub your chakras and meditate and that's not going to work, Daddy. They ain't going to get it. That's not going to get it. It's not going to happen. This is not a matter of choice. This is biology. Biology overwhelms logic and reason. You're not going to be able to just sit there and just, discipline will get me. I will think about other things. That's not the way it works. And I'm not saying that you're going to just go hop into bed with her. What I'm saying is that you're going to be like, I'll be damned. This is a whole lot better than all that damn you porn I've been watching. You are not going to sit there and say, well, you know what? I got a choice between you and you porn. I'm going to go grab this you porn right quick. Yeah, right now. That's not what's going to happen. Furthermore, that doesn't help us as men, grown men responding like 5-year-old children. What the hell are we doing here? You can't go to war with bluffs. You can't bluff your way through this. The women already know you're lying. Females are arrogant. You know why they're arrogant? They're arrogant because they see what happens in real life. Women rarely get turned down. Most women don't get turned down. That's the reason why they appear to be so, quote, unrealistically picky. Because she's like, well, damn, I usually get told yes. So there isn't any real reason to sit up here and go easily. It's like, oh, I don't have to worry about that. Not at all. Not at all. Women don't usually get turned down, and they know it. They're not usually getting turned down. They're not usually hearing no. So as far as they're concerned, they just need to wait for the right guy so they can say yes. They're just waiting for that one. They're just waiting for that one. Because most men tell them yes. Or if she offers, most men don't say no. And that's just the truth of it. If she offers, most men don't say no. Now, that doesn't mean that every man says yes, but most of them don't say no. Most of them don't. So no wonder they don't believe you otherwise. They don't believe you. You're going to have to prove it and show it to them, because as men, we don't do ourselves any favors believing that guys are going to stick by the honor system. That don't work. That doesn't work. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. I think THS has shown up over here on Zoom. At least I think so. All right, we got THS on Zoom. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Let me see if I can help you with that. There you go. Speak.
How's it going, sir?
All right, Mr. THS. So you were saying that you didn't understand what the point was.
The point of, you mean so far as listening to whether or not someone who doesn't enjoy your investment into the relationship, what they care what they think or anything like that?
Yeah, you said, why do we care what they think?
Yeah. My point is that as a man, you do everything that you can in order to provide for your family. You do everything that you can in order to make sure that the people around you are taken care of. And for anybody who actually doesn't appreciate that, they can kick rocks.
Okay. Well, certainly that makes sense if people do not appreciate what you're doing. However, how do you know that what you're doing is worthy of gratitude?
By striving to do your best each and every day. Any good person, any good man, any person worth their salt in this world will understand that their works are shown through their actions. So if you complete your actions each and every day, you know that actually is valuable to someone.
Well, you're correct. I mean, that is valuable to someone. That might be valuable to a female working in a law firm. Then again, it might be valuable to a female who's homeless with 5 kids.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that they are equal, but so far as everything that you mentioned about what someone will always, how someone would always change the game on what exactly they expect, there's no difference between the person who's in a law firm and the person who's homeless with 5 kids. Both of them are going to expect for you to carry the majority of the load. So, treat them equally.
Okay, well, that depends. Does that man qualify for the chick at the law firm or not? Because these women are not equal.
If both of them have the expectation that you're going to be the person that fronts the load, to me, they are.
Well, yeah, but that's only if you qualify for both. If you only qualify for the homeless chick with the 5 kids, then you see where the problem is.
Well, I mean, I understand your point of view when you say if you only qualify for the homeless person, but where I'm coming from is from the assumption that your works has put in the value to where you are, appreciated by not only the homeless person, but the doctor, but the person that's in the law firm, and that's being, a good man. That's doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's standing on your square and making sure that everybody around you is taken care of. If somebody in a doctor's office can't appreciate that, then shoot, let me go find a chick at the McDonald's to appreciate it, because both of them don't want the same thing from me.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though. Do you also think that water seeks its own level? Oh boy!
If you were to assume that women are the water, but more so or less, it would be if you well, from your standpoint and your point of view of what we talk about on Sheryl Lee Ralph, you were saying that she's going back and forth, talking about Denzel Washington. She's overlooking, the state senator. But, a woman like that, Sheryl Lee Ralph, for years, she didn't work. For years, she's an actor. Most of the time, they don't work. But that state senator check comes in each and every month. So if she can't appreciate a man who has that check each and every month, while she's pining for a Denzel Washington who hadn't looked her way, then, let her go find that water on her own level. And I'll go ahead and I'll find myself a different seat.
Okay, well, I don't really have a big eye into her finances. She's worked steadily. She certainly hasn't been doing a bunch of headlining. I mean, there was Moesha. I don't really know anything about that. She's on a good series now, so you figure there's all the money that comes with that right now. However, money's not everything in the equation. I understand what you're saying, but do you understand that as a man, what gives us our value is not simply financial faithfulness?
Well, I mean, the number one part that gives us our value is our virtue. Us being, good, upstanding people, doing righteous things. If
Okay, well, I guess the cold is causing some issues with the connection. I think I may have dropped out here for a moment. I think we're back with you here, T. Okay, 1 minute you're in, 1 minute you're out. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. So, okay, 1 minute we are up, 1 minute we are down. So this thing is fighting over here. It really, really is. This is what we get for broadcasting during a snowstorm. This is what we get for broadcasting during the great winter storm of 2025. This is what we get for that. So, not really sure how well it's going to be able to hold that signal here tonight. But this is what we get for that. Let's go ahead and see. Okay. I think y'all are able to hear me now. It's still giving me a warning up there, though. It is still giving me a warning about that. I may have to see if I can redo the Zoom link here, because it's still giving me a warning about that. Okay. Okay, they can hear me. Let me go ahead and redo the Zoom link here right quick. Hopefully we don't have too many more problems there. Like I say, it's snowing all over the place. I bet you a million folks are trying to stream on YouTube tonight or whatever. I was on there with THS. THS, you can see if you can try to check back in again here when I was talking to him. Now it's saying my connection is good. We'll see if it lasts. We'll see if it lasts. THS was telling me about, being a virtuous man. He's talking about if you're a virtuous man. Boy, those are wonderful platitudes. They really, really are. I mean, they really, really are. Those are actually very wonderful platitudes to give out. Those are wonderful principles to espouse. It really, really is. You love it when people start talking about your virtues, and they talk about virtues in a manner that's usually most favorable for them. They talk about it in that manner. And I'm not excusing for people to be dishonorable. If you give your word, then yes, absolutely you should keep your word. That speaks to your character as a person. But when we start talking about being virtuous, when we start talking about virtue, the question I was asking THS when the connection got broken up, the question that I asked was, well, what if you're a, quote, virtuous man who is also uncompetitive? Does that affect your value? If you are a so-called virtuous man, but you're a virtuous man who is uncompetitive, you take a look at the other men around you. She takes a look at the other men around you. You're a nice guy. You're a virtuous guy. You keep your word, and you are completely uncompetitive. The other guys around you are out competing you. Do you think that might outweigh your, quote, virtue? Unsettling, devastating thought to consider, but one worth considering. Okay, we got Ian here on Zoom. Ian, what's on your mind?
Well, first, I want to say, speak on the honor thing, because the brother was right in a sense about the honor, but the only problem is that we live in a finesse culture, and everybody's sense of honor is skewed in a sense. What is real today is fake, and what's fake today is real. So, and the ladies kind of operate like this when they operate in their best interest. They claim that, I'm protecting my peace, right? But a man might see that as, oh no, you're being dishonorable. So as far as the honor thing, it's kind of, when you use vague terms like that, it kind of made my antennas pop up. But to speak to your main topic, as far as weak men make hard times, I got 3 anecdotal examples, if I may.
Sure. Just give us the Reader's Digest version.
Okay. Now, 20 years ago, I worked at FedEx, or not FedEx, UPS, and there was a UPS driver, and he was bragging and expounding about how his wife was I think she was a lawyer. She was something. And he was in the break room man, my wife make more than me. And I'm 19, 20, 21 years old at the time. And I'm like, something about that just didn't seem right. So, you got to look out for that. And also, as far as how men need to remain competitive with their women, the baby weight. I don't know if you've heard about this, but a lot of women, when they get pregnant and they start to gain weight, they want their husbands or their baby's fathers to gain weight as well. So they kind of want to. Some of them do, you know what I mean? But yeah, you got to watch out for that.
Well, let me go ahead and address a couple of things you said there. First of all, when you talk about honorability, that for a woman, that's essential. That's not, optional. She has to have that because you are sleeping with your eyes closed around her. So you have to have an honorable female. Those are things you have to test for. You can see the music she listens to. You can see the TV shows she watches. You see the friends that she keeps. But probably the biggest indicator is if you ask her, by the way, fellas, most males are so desperate to get in bed with a female or to have a female for companionship that they don't do any vetting at all. The biggest piece of readily accessible vetting you should do is, when did you break up with your ex? Men you rarely hear men ever backtrack that and walk it backwards to find out those dates and see if those dates line up. Find out when she broke up with the guy before that and see if those dates line up, or what we usually see, which is dates overlapping. That's not an honorable female. That's not.
And you want to ask her those questions at different times to try to catch her up. You know, and then play dumb and be like, well, you say you broke up with old boy on August the 1st, 2015, and you know what I'm saying? You got to switch it up and kind of shadow box with him. But yeah, that's all. I just want to throw my 2 cents in right there.
Yeah, always be vetting, be questioning. And also, when you're saying about being competitive, I'm not saying being competitive with women. You're supposed to be competitive among men. And that's what females see. So the real thing is being competitive among men, because as men, we can do things that women simply cannot do. That is one of the metrics you're being gauged and measured by. That's just one of them. It's not just financial. There's financial, there's physical, there's social, there's emotional. There's a number of different metrics of competitiveness that you're being gauged on. And if you're lacking, certainly if you're lacking in more than one, she starts sizing up whether or not she can do better. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me go ahead and see if I can get THS back up in here. Hopefully YouTube is done with their nonsense. Hopefully they are here. We'll see if that gets a little bit better. Okay, we got THS back here on Zoom. Let's go ahead and get him to unmute himself. Okay, I think we got you back here, THS.
All right, brother.
Okay, well, I'd asked before.
Trying to cut off our conversation.
Yeah, when I'd asked you before, you were talking about, virtue and the value of virtue. How much value do you think your virtue as a man has if you are also uncompetitive compared to the other men around you?
Well, I mean, by its nature, if you have a virtue, well, I mean, maybe I'm using the word in the wrong way, but basically, when I think of something as being virtuous, I mean, I think of a person who's continually active in their mind or in their body. Sometimes they may not be able to be active in their body, so they're active in their mind. But so long as they are a present contributor to the world as a man, as a righteous man, I would actually say that that value is unlimited.
Right, but what I'm saying is that what if most or all the other men around you are contributing more than you are?
You truly can only compete with yourself.
Yikes.
Like I would truly like to be, the richest person in the world, but there is a limit to what I would do in order to obtain that amount of money. There's a limit to what I would do in order to give of myself in order to obtain that amount of money. So it becomes less of I wish to compete with the other men around me, and more so of that I know my limit to take that will take away from my peace. And that's the most important thing.
Oh boy, I got a man talking about his peace. Oh, we got to talk for a minute, brother. We got to talk. We got to talk for a minute. First of all, when you said the only person you're competing against is yourself, I mean, by that sounds great in a Sesame Street kind of way. That sounds great, but that's not real. It would be different if you were on this planet by yourself, but you're literally not. So by definition, you're not competing against just yourself. That's literally impossible.
Very true. So I would say that if I found myself in a position where I did what I needed to do, and my income that has been obtained is where it placed me in the most comfortable way, mind, body, and spirit, there's no need for me to compete with anybody else to obtain anything different.
But you do understand that what you just said, that is what determines your value.
Very true.
And if everyone else is producing or contributing more value, then automatically
doesn't make me less valuable.
I mean, you're right. Technically speaking, you're correct. If everybody else is $100 bill and you're a penny, well, the fact that they're $100 bill does not stop the fact that you're a penny. No, it doesn't change that. You're correct. It doesn't. You're still a penny. Here's the killer point. By the way, we're still a penny.
True. That's true. You're still a penny. But if you can eat, maintain your peace, maintain your sanity, take care of your family on that penny, hey, knock yourself out with your $100 bills.
You do understand, though, that when all those other things would be assumptions being made, because if you're a man doing the bare minimum, or your productivity or achievement is the bare minimum, then you're going to be living a bare minimum life.
Well, that depends on what you determine as being bare minimum. See, I feel that a person who knows what their purpose is, knows what their goal is, would never place in the bare minimum each and any day. It would actually be a day that they would, wake up and do something different, do something new, but they're not competing with somebody else. They're competing with themselves.
Okay, let's try this a different way.
Sure.
Let's just say you have a female in your life, and I'm not going to say a job, because this applies to jobs, schools, vocations. But I'm going to say the female thing because that's closest to people and it touches on these other areas. Based on what you just said, if you have a female in your life and we're offering the bare minimum, how are they going to, what exactly is it we're giving them to look forward to be loyal to? What exactly is it we're offering?
Loyalty comes without any other ties to it. You get loyalty out the gate. There's no amount of money that you can actually obtain to grasp loyalty, to get trust. So therefore, you would not even have that as a factor in the type of woman that you're actually being with. And without loyalty in that woman, any particular dollar amount will sway her.
Okay. If you as a man are being outcompeted by the men around you, then as a simple value judgment, why would any woman want to be with the man whose productivity is the bare minimum?
Hey, at the moment that you see me as being not enough, see you later, Senorita.
That's true. Now, if you start seeing that that's a pattern, then it's not just one chick responding that way. This seems to be just my normal way of life when I run into on a regular basis. Would that indicate that perhaps we have a problem and that problem is not emanating from the women, the job, or other people?
No, not at all. Because if there's no particular part of settling within yourself that would actually extend to a woman being settled within herself. So if she sees the next man that has more than me, then that means her eyes were never with me to begin with. That means her eyes were always focused on someone else. And that particular person, I ain't trying to make you happy. You can kick rocks.
Okay, but as people, you don't think that we should always be trying to give our best?
For ourselves and for our family. Nobody else.
Yeah, but you have to earn that.
Yeah. Go out.
What you just
bust your
said? No, no, no,
tail.
no. What you just said about the family part? You got to earn that.
Very true.
So that thing you
And
said
that-
about
that
loyalty,
comes-
that's not a given. Loyalty is something you have to qualify for.
No, I don't. I disagree. Loyalty is something that's built within inside yourself. And you're loyal to the school that you go to, loyal to the job that you go to, loyal to the friends that you have around you. That doesn't come with the prerequisite of something that they did for you. That comes from the fact that you're just a loyal person.
Okay, I'm glad you gave that example. Can you please name for me a job that is loyal to you?
Absolutely not.
And yet you just gave the very clearly articulated example of you can be loyal to a job.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
But just like the woman, the woman doesn't have to be loyal to me, which means she can go wherever else she wants to. And the job does not have to be loyal to me, which means that I can go wherever else I want to. And I will go where I'm appreciated, and then we'll take care of what exactly it is that I wish to do with my life.
right, but what I'm saying is that when you say loyalty, that's something that has to be earned. The reason why you are not loyal to your job, but you may be loyal to your church, is one of them has demonstrated the propensity or a potential to be loyal to you in return. Your job, no matter what you do, it will never be loyal to you because that is not its perspective on you. Your
Very true.
relationship to them, they're like, we don't need your loyalty. We just need your consistency. Whether you're loyal to us is irrelevant. We just need you to obey us. When you're like, okay, well, I can obey you without being loyal to you. They're like, good enough for us. With your female, however, that's not the way that works. Because there's a difference. Now, let me explain to you what the difference is.
Sure. Go
Can
ahead.
you please name for me any profession where you are expected to die for them?
Military.
Very glad you mentioned about the military. I would argue to people that about the military being a profession, because remember, we have a quote volunteer military today, but is that actually what the military is?
Okay.
So technically speaking, the military is a function of the state. And because it's a function of the state, we as men, all of us had to sign up for selective service, whether we joined a branch of the military or not. That was not optional. So there are just those of us who signed up and went to work for them in the volunteer phase, and those of us who signed up and didn't. So I was thinking, I want to make sure I'm not over giving people too much to think about in that regard, but I would actually see that a little bit differently. Other than the military, and there's the other thing is there any profession that you would willingly die for?
And none that I would willingly die for, no.
That's the difference between any job and your woman, quote, / family. You would willingly die for them.
To a certain degree.
Okay. I would like to hear the certain degree for your children.
Well, to the certain degree. Now, if you are deciding you want to go and play around with some cartels and have a conversation with them where you owe them some money, yeah, you're gonna have to struggle with that on your own.
Well, I mean, like if you got the little bug-eyed kid that you're not sure is yours, you might not want to, die for him necessarily. It's like, okay, if it's kind of sketchy when he was born, you're not sure you was there when that happened. All right, that might. For the other ones, though, that's a different matter. The bottom line, though, is that as a man, when you take a woman under you, you are expected to be her protector and provider, which means by definition, you are signing up to lay down your life for her if it calls for it. If something is threatening her up to and including the point of death, you don't have the option of abandoning her and saying, oh, it got rough back there. That's not what you're allowed to do.
I definitely understand your point. And for that very reason, I automatically command your loyalty.
Well, yes, but only to the extent of what you've done. So she has to choose you first. You don't get to just tell her, "Hey, get over here and be loyal." It doesn't work that way.
If at any point you are expecting me to put my life on the line at the onset of the relationship, I demand your loyalty to be at the onset of the relationship.
Well, assuming you get to the relationship point, assuming you get there.
Oh, I'm not dying for a regular girlfriend. No.
Right, but what I'm saying though is that, if you're talking about having a relationship, yeah, you got to get there first. You don't just get to grab any female and say we're in a relationship. So it doesn't work that way either. So, and for her to concede to that, that's what I mean. You're gonna have to earn that. That's not something that's just given to you. That's something you have to qualify for. You have to qualify for her to choose you to be that person that she would submit to.
But there's no amount of money that could actually stop somebody from dying. So if my prerequisite is that I must be able to lay my life on the line, that has no dollar amount, which means that your loyalty has no dollar amount tied to it. That is a given. You must give it. It is within no ifs, ands, or buts, no shadow of a doubt. It is demanded.
If you have a female and for whatever reason you choose not to do something financially, what will that do to loyalty?
Well, it depends on what you mean by not doing something financially. If I'm keeping everything afloat, if I'm, taking care of all the business, there is not a want in the relationship, a want in the family, and you are just simply lacking in your desires, then hey, you got to go somewhere. I got nothing for you.
Well, certainly I can think of some scenarios whereby which that can happen, because as a man, you have to qualify financially, and certainly how well you perform. And it's not just financially, socially, intellectually, physically. That's going to determine the quality and caliber of female that you get. If you're a bare minimum man, you're going to qualify for a bare minimum female.
And so long as she has the ability to get on my program, to do what exactly that I need in order for me to be at peace so I can go tackle the world, hey, I'll take a bare minimum chick.
If she's a size 20?
Yeah, you might be talking about a little bit too big right there, but I'm quite sure that you could find a whole lot of more agreeable women that are below size 20.
So he does have standards, y'all. Okay, well, we just found one of those standards. Well, as long as you give me peace and get with the program, she's going to give you peace and get with the program. Now she's a size 20.
I mean, she can't be Quasimodo, Jason. She can't be Quasimodo.
Oh, okay. But that's bare minimum, sir.
No, Quasimodo, man.
Brother, you got to, sir, you got to qualify.
We've been striving for a lot.
You have to qualify for a size 8 or smaller. You got to qualify for that.
In what way?
Because that's not bare minimum anymore.
To who?
I mean, just if you want to be an uncompetitive male who is only competing with yourself and wants loyalty out the gate, and they got to get with your program, but you're a bare minimum guy who is self-aware he's bare minimum and you're willing to accept a bare minimum chick. Brother, when you say bare minimum, you don't get to start putting qualifiers and check boxes on it. Because she gave you loyalty and she's getting with your program. Those were she's giving you loyalty, peace, and getting with your program. Those were your bare minimum requirements. Now he's saying, wait a minute, can I put a couple of others on here? Well, that's not bare minimum anymore.
Well, I mean, you have to be,
wow, okay.
Have at least some sort of attraction to the person.
I thought you wanted.
I mean, that's a bare minimum too.
But, so she also has to have attractiveness also.
Well, attractive to me.
Okay, that bare minimum just shot up right quick. Okay.
Well, basically, Jason, when it comes down to the reason that I was putting in the chat, that the state senator, that at any particular moment he can ask for the divorce papers and stuff like that, because I've never met a woman that can't be replaced. I've never met a woman who that any man has decided that he wishes to no longer protect, that somebody else can't be brought in to replace her, and that he will have a better time with her. So that's why I say that Sheryl Lee Ralph, I believe that's her name, that, she can go take her 70-year-old behind and go find a pool boy.
Well, let me address what you said there,
find a
though.
more cooperative woman than McDonald's.
Well, let me address what you said there, though, because when we start tacking on, oh, she has to be attractive, brother, if she's attractive to you, then she's also going to be attractive to other men.
More than likely, yeah.
Right. So just by you raising that bar from the floor, bare minimum, just raising it to quote unquote attractive to me, as opposed to you saying, I'll take any female. You say, okay, I'm not going to do that one. I'm not going to take any female physically. I ain't going to just take anything. Okay. She has to be attractive to me. Then by definition, she's going to be attractive to other men. Thus, we're automatically in competition now. Because you are
not at all.
Because you are not her only option.
But the moment that she actually has eyes for you and not has eyes for me, she ain't my chick. So therefore she can go.
And what I'm saying is that when you go that low, that's where everything's going to be that. You can't ever win. You're always going to be expendable.
That's when you settle within yourself, readjust where exactly it is you wish to go in life, and then you go find that chick that will appreciate it.
And that size 20 will appreciate it. Now we just gotta get you. Now we just gotta get you to be at peace with the size 20.
I'm not gonna lie. There are plenty. I believe there's somewhere around 4 billion women in the world. Less than a size 20. Yeah, I can find one.
Okay.
Now I'm married, so that don't apply to me, but that's what it is.
Okay, well, if City Bay files them divorce papers, I'll slip her your Zoom name. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, like I say, it's real easy to say, oh, I ain't worried about this and we'll be okay. It's real easy once you start saying, okay, good, lowest common denominator. Wait. The little cross-eyed chick who's a size 22 come around the corner. Finally, I got me a man. He's like, oh, wait a minute. Whoa. I wasn't looking for that coming. Hey, THS, she just pulled up outside. Tell her honk the horn. Oh, man. Yes, sir. You're going straight to Lane Bryant. Fellas, you know that your life has hit rock bottom when you are browsing the lingerie at Lane Bryant. Damn! Yes, sir. You know you done hit rock bottom when that happened. They got some pretty panties up in there. Yes, sir. If you're asking me at what point you've gone off the rail and it's like, okay, it's time to start getting your act together. Lane Bryant, you start doing that. Yeah, buddy, that's when that happens right there. Just saying. Make sure I'm trying to look out for you here, but boys, just in case, if any of you fellas want to know at what point it might have gone off the rails, Lane Bryant and Ashley Stewart and yes, sir. Right there. You going through the underwear and this nigga going birthday shopping. Yes, sir. But if that's happening, it's correction. Fellas, bottom line here is you're going to compete. You're going to compete. Unless you're going to go for the bottom of the barrel, you're going to compete. If the female you're looking at is attractive to you, she's attractive to other men. Guess what? You just entered competition. And yes, you can and will be left without a chair when the music stops. You can and will be left without a seat when the music stops. But it can be even worse than that. What if you are the fella and the chick that you are talking to, you were not her first or her second choice? Damn! Oh, what if that's the issue? Only she's not telling you that. No female puts on a t-shirt that says, by the way, this nigga ain't my second choice. There are a bunch of guys right now, you are the third or fourth choice, and you like, hey, let good enough do. Let good enough do. Man, you're in trouble when that happens. You're in trouble when that happens because somebody will see, just like if you're a man and the female you're looking at, if she's attractive, other people are attracted to her also, or she's good enough to be attractive to them. That works the inverse for men. It works in the inverse for men also. If you are not interesting enough for her, you're probably not interesting enough for the other women either. So you get the one that'll take you, and what if she's settling? I got a brutal reality to lay on you fellas here right now. Do you realize that 80 to 90% of the women today think that she's settled for you? What? But it's true. Women, that's probably the biggest, if it's not the biggest lie, it's the second biggest. They think they settled, man. 80, I'm talking about, I literally mean that statistic, 8 to 9 out of 10 females, they feel like they settled for you. They really do believe that. Now you're sitting up here adding up her size, adding up her waist, adding up her looks, adding up her age. You calculating them 3 bastards she walked in the door with. And you're like, well, I mean, that settled? What do you mean settled? And what I'm saying is that if you haven't looked at the men she's been with, or more importantly, the men she's wanted to be with, oh man. Oh man. That's a tough spot to be in. A lot of you fellas are battling the ghost of the nigga she used to be with a decade ago. Denzel didn't come through. You thought that he was on drugs and getting drunk and living that high life, and you thought that he was eventually going to leave Paula, and he never did. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? In the chat room, ease off my caller now. He's been good, people. Ease off now. He's been good folk. If your woman was with Denzel 20 damn years ago, don't you know she's remembering that? Don't you know she was hoping things would fall apart and it didn't? A lot of y'all, you got a Denzel in your woman's past. Or at least what served for Denzel for her. And this idea is like, oh, well, don't worry. Well, and that's all right. Let good enough do. It's like, okay, that's a nice fantasy. That's not the way that works. The reason why over half of all marriages end is because the female felt like she was settling for you, or she started thinking she was settling for you later. She got bored, she got lax, or she started telling herself you did. She starts taking a look at where she thought you were going. Now, there's a big one. There's a lot of fellas out here that she thought you were going somewhere bigger and better than you are. Oh, man. I'm not going to say any names. I got a few women in this chat room right now. That's exactly their story.
And deal with it, nigga.
I ain't going to say your names, but y'all know who you are. Y'all know who you are. I got a few females listening in here right now. They got with somebody and they were expecting him to upgrade over time. If I just sit here and wish on a nigga, She was trying to use her own metrics. She was trying to use her own evaluation. She was trying to use her own calculus. And she said, by my estimation, this is where he's going to be in 10 years. By her estimation, this is where he gonna be in 10 years. Think about this for just a few moments, folks. Oh, I'm about to hurt a lot of damn feelings here tonight, but so be it. Now, this is Sheryl Lee Ralph's husband. So, if he was in the Philadelphia State Senate in 1994 and 95, if those two got married in 2005, don't you know that she figures, hey, if you've been a state senator for 10 years, do you all really think that she thought he was still just gonna be a state senator 10 years after she married him? Do you all think that's what she really thought was gonna be the case? That after 10 years, he would still just be a state senator? Hell no! 2005, Barack Obama was off and running by 2007. He was president in 2008. Don't you know she was looking at this light-skinned nigga back then talking about, hey, you could do that? Don't you know that she was looking at him and saying, you could do that? And I submit to you that she did. She sat there with him and she said, hey, I'm going to stay in good shape. I'm going to stay respectable. I'm going to stay semi-famous here. I'm going to keep striving. I'm going to keep on top of my game. I'm going to keep reaching for the brass ring. You going to keep reaching for it. And we are going to be a power couple, which is what she has been aiming and waiting for. We gonna be that power couple that she's had in her mind the whole time. And it didn't quite work out that way. Yeah, in the chat room, I could have been Michelle. I could have been Michelle Obama. If we could motivate this nigga over here, I could have been Michelle. When you all take a look at the math, if my theory is just really out of left field, are you sure? Are you sure? You see, you got to understand, by the time she shows up with him right around the corner, I mean, when did Michael Nutter become the mayor of Philadelphia? When did Michael Nutter become the mayor of Philadelphia? I know it was had to be around 2010 to 2013 because I was there when it happened. But yeah, buddy, Michael Nutter was mostly bald. Mostly bald. She was looking at him. He was mayor of Philadelphia from 2008 to 2016. He was mayor of Philadelphia from 2008 to 2016. She married this guy in 2005. So she married him, and take a look at everything that happened right after she married him. Michael Nutter becomes mayor of Philadelphia. Barack Obama becomes president of the United States. Hell, Obama had become U.S. senator in Illinois and president in 2008. So 2008 was popping for a lot of dudes. And you know she was thinking his turn was coming up. And he was probably telling her it was too. Oh, I bet you I'm saying too much. I hope Cheryl's not listening in tonight. He was probably telling her about his ambitions and he was going to do X, Y, Z. He was probably telling her that. Oh, Miss JMPW, don't say that. Don't say that. I might have to make you call in tonight. Don't say that. Because once niggas get older, it's like, here's the problem. The problem is for Cheryl, Miss JMPW, I could tell you, you was going around, she's still breaking niggas in half today. I can tell right now. You hitting below the belt. Miss JMPW is hitting below the belt. So she's one of them women who've been sitting around the whole damn life breaking niggas. She's been sitting around the whole damn life breaking niggas. She's rough and raw, y'all. She's evil. But she hits on a very good point, though, by the way. While she is sitting up here breaking hearts, she's made a very good point because Sheryl Ralph is 69 years old, according to People magazine. Okay, she's 69 years old, and as far as she is concerned, she still got her foot on the gas. Her husband is 68 years old. What man is looking to slam his foot on the gas at 68? What man is looking to turn on the turbos at 68? I mean, when he was 48, that was one thing. He's damn near 70 now. And she's talking about the best is yet to come for her. He's like, hell, the best is come and gone. I'm sitting my ass down. How much more productivity do you expect to get out of a 70-year-old? So Miss JMPW is talking about, old dude at this point, he's trying to slow down. He's not trying to run for governor or president. He's not trying to do like Donald Trump. Donald Trump was trying to keep out of federal prison. You damn right he was running for president. He's trying to keep out of federal prison. He's got motivation. What's this dude got? What's this dude got, man? Donald Trump can be 78 years old. But if she is 69 years old, expecting that this man is going to become a damn racehorse at 70, that she's going to be able to finesse him or massage him or kick him in the ass and say, hey, nigga, get in the gear. If I can go get an Emmy, if I can get a hit TV show, if I can go do all these press tours, if I'm still globetrotting, Cheryl is saying, if I'm still doing that at 70, nigga, what's your excuse? So this puts all that much more pressure on him. And every day she gets up and she's looking at him and she's saying, I settled. And she's thinking to herself, at least Denzel had a longer runway. At least Denzel was more about it. At least I could have had that shine of being with him. I sat here with you, and y'all got to think for a moment. She feels betrayed. But she does. Remember unspoken female assumptions? If she expected that Michael Nutter ran for mayor and Barack Obama ran for president and you didn't do nothing, she's like, I was expecting you to do something. And you didn't even try. Don't you know she feels like she's been betrayed? She's like, I sat here. I was the good, attentive wife. I believed in you. Oh, this is going to hurt. Ladies, there's a whole bunch of y'all in here right now. I try not to break down in tears, but I got to say this next sentence. Try not to get emotional, ladies. What do you do when you done stepped up here for a man and you waited and waited and waited for him to achieve what you saw as his potential, and then one day you realized, I believed in you more than you believed in yourself. Damn! Oh, man. Imagine that. That your wife believes that you have it in you to be governor or U.S. senator or president. Your wife believes you have it in you, but you don't believe you have it in yourself, and she fooled around and married you. And so she waited. 2005, you got married. We went through the election cycle of 2008. You were sitting there hyping up Obama, but you didn't move. 2010 midterms. 2012, Barack runs for re-election. Michael Nutter runs for re-election. You still sitting in the Pennsylvania State Senate. I think Ed Rendell was governor back then. He was district attorney in Philadelphia, I think it was, and then he became governor. So she's watching everybody leaving Philadelphia going to go be governor. She's a Hollywood star, almost days, married to you, and it ain't worth nothing? It's not worth anything? What does that tell you? When she's sitting there with you the whole time and she's watching all these other people, man, that ain't good. That's not good. Now she's watched Josh Shapiro come up there and you helping everybody else and can't do it for won't do it for yourself? Don't you know she feels like she's been betrayed? That she was sitting there and she waited 2008, 2012, 2016. By the time we get to coming up to 2020, folks, the math is dead on the money. The math is dead on the money when you think about it. When did she start posting about Denzel? Or at least the earliest we found on Instagram, 2019. So we passed that 10-year election cycle, 2008 to 2018, and it's very clear that you're not going to do anything else. So when the elections start rolling around for 2020, she's already checked out. She's starting to think about what could have been. Let's just be honest. Do you think that if Denzel was the Pennsylvania state senator, that he would have stayed a Pennsylvania state senator?
Nigga, please.
You think Denzel would have stayed one? Do you think that she thinks that Denzel would have stayed one? When you think about that, as far as she's concerned, she's had to make a life for herself because the life that you have does not eclipse hers. And she sat there for the better part of a decade and waited for you to take off, and you failed to launch. And she's watched people that you would consider to be lesser beings pass you by and achieve greater heights. She is still in the business and still pursuing greater heights. And the man that she's married to fizzled out a while ago. And is probably telling her about what he could do or could have, or what, haven't I made it comfortable for you and you don't want for anything? She doesn't want for anything except a man with some drive, ambition, and the ability to raise her status or her name. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. And that's where it is. If you take a look at the math of it, 2019, 2020, she comes back the next damn year. December 2019, December 2020. Come on now. December 2021. Yikes. December 2024. Yeah, if you've been with old boy long enough and you've just finally accepted he just doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. He's cool being where he is. Now he's almost 70 years old. He's never aspired to more. And you saying it now, he just takes that as badgering. You're badgering me. You're nagging me. Why can't you just love me for me? And that's what he'll be pleading at this point. Why can't you just love me for me? Why can't we just let good enough do? There's a whole bunch of folks out there poorer than us, less well known than us, less successful than us. Why can't we just cruise and be all right? You have a woman who is still striving where she is, and she's with a man who isn't. He's happy and cool being right where he is. And she now recognizes at this point, baby, you just got a 60-something-year-old dude. If he ain't bought the Bentley ain't coming. If he hasn't run for Senate, Senator ain't coming. If he hasn't lined up to run for president, it ain't coming. You are richer than him, more well-known than him, more personable than him, more internationally recognized than him. You've eclipsed him in every metric. How are you going to be happy when you don't feel like you two are a match? In the chat room, All Work No Play says, at 60 plus, a 69-year-old woman ain't motivating nobody. Well, that's a wonderful platitude to give. It really is. And she's certainly not calling any hands. Here's the issue. Water is going to seek its own level. And she may be 69, not motivating nobody. But what is a 69-year-old dude who has no greener pastures or no mountains to climb in front of him? What is he motivating? Can he even motivate the 69-year-old chick laying next to him? There's the real issue. Correct, First Class. She wasn't 69 when she married him. She would have been closer to 49 or 48 with some kids, and that's not a fantastic spot to be in either. But the issue here now is she's publicly emasculating him, and why? Because he's had 30 years technically, but 20 years being with her. He has sat with her for decades. They're gone into their twilight years. And she is more ambitious, more driven, more energetic, and more motivated than he is. No wonder she wants space. No wonder she wants space. No wonder she wants room. No wonder she's like, hey, you know what? I think you should have a life of your own. No wonder. She feels like she's settled. And it is my hypothesis, based on everything I've observed and all the empirical data and matching up the dates and seeing her personality versus his, he's cool being where he is. And at this point in his life, man, he ain't trying to kick on no afterburners. He's not trying to turn into a hot rod. He's not trying to do anything bigger. He's like, look, let these folk in Pennsylvania just keep reelecting me till I get tired, and then I'll just draw my state pension. Let these folk keep reelecting me until I get done with that, and then I'll just draw my state pension. Fellas, do you understand the peril that you run by giving your woman a social death sentence?
What?
Because what I just articulated, that's a social death sentence. You are sentencing her to death socially. You are telling her that everything is about to end for you. There's an age-old saying, stick with me, baby, we're going places. What if she wakes up one day and realizes that the slogan changed with stick to me, baby, we going nowhere? We're not going anywhere better. Every day is going to look just like it does today. Well, that's social death. And think about this for a few moments. You ain't got to like this, but it's the damn truth. You don't have to like it, but it's real. Whether you like it or not, or whether you want to accept the reality or not, she was able to get him to the Emmys.
What? Damn!
She was, 67 years old? And able to get him to the Emmys. He can't get her to Capitol Hill. He can't get her to Pennsylvania Avenue, but she could get him to the Emmys. You think she isn't sitting on that? You think she's not resenting that? You think she doesn't have a problem with that? You think she's not looking at the fact that, by the way, hey, dude, I'm past AARP age, and I can get you to the Emmys. She can do things for you that you cannot do for her. I'm just saying, when you do the math on this is the stuff that your YouTubers and your gossip blogs and all these other folk have not given you the math on this. They haven't given you the math. Do you realize that she's showing you concrete proof that she is still competitive? She is still going places. She's still making big things happen. And the dude she married to is just accompanying her from one place to another. But he's not opening any new doors. Fellas, your woman won't tell you this, but she will hold it against you. You can like it, you can not like it, you can sit up here and try to compare the two of you. She's going to be like, what the hell are you doing comparing us for? When you say you're doing better than her, she's going to be like, you're supposed to be doing better than me. And you wake up one day, and you're about to be 70 years old, and your woman is still out here making things happen and throwing elbows. No wonder she's asking herself, I'll be damned. Maybe I do need to be hugged up under Burner Boy.
And deal with it, nigga.
I'm just saying, she's like, I'll be damned. Oh, y'all not gonna like this next part that I say, but she might be saying, I'll be damned. You know what? Maybe Burner Boy know what to do with it. I mean, he going somewhere. He doing something. All this other stuff ain't working out. Maybe hand it over to a new jack who got some plans for it. Y'all better figure out how women think. Let me explain something to you. When you say, what you gonna do with a 69-year-old? You take a look at Burner Boy cheesing over there and whatnot, because understand something. Listen to the way she talking. What does she sit here and tell you?
He has his own real career. I have my own real career. We also live in separate places. When I go to see him, love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. Telling you, life is.
I told you. For the female psyche, it's better to be the side chick to a nigga that's a boss than to be a main chick to a nigga that's going nowhere. I'm telling y'all, she didn't just come up with that out of nowhere. She's like, I done gave this nigga 20 damn years. Maybe Burna Boy needs a side chick. She's like, I'll be damned. What am I getting now? There's some fellas in the chat room. I got to hurt some feelings. Okay, what has she got to lose? She already makes more than him. I already went down the list. She makes more money than him. She's got more status than him. The most important thing to human beings, status. She's not going to have kids with him. She's already distanced from him. Okay, so, and if you want to think, well, is she talking like they got an open relationship or whatever? It's just like, okay, well then, she's already aside for somebody else there. She's like, I'll be damned. Maybe Burna Boy can take me to the damn Grammys.
And deal with it, nigga.
That's what she's thinking. Okay, stick with this dude I'm married to. Okay, well, I'm taking the dude I'm married to the damn Emmys. Maybe Burna Boy can get me over there at the Source Awards. Do they even have the Source Awards anymore? BET Awards something. Just saying. Fellas, coping mechanisms don't work. I mean, it's a soothing thing to say about what it ain't, but coping mechanisms don't really work like that. It really doesn't. So I'm just letting you know. It's soothing to say that.
Fire is hot, honey. It's hot. Yes.
Coco, I just want to tell you, you should have been
something
here.
I wanted to see.
You should
Like
have
he
experienced this because you see me here with the one Burner boy.
he flexed his eyebrows.
All right, here, baby. All right, I know you're having a good time, but you see the time I'm
You saw
having
that
a
right
time?
there? Did you see that? You see when she said, I know you're having a good time? Did you see that? Did you see Burna Boy's eyes? Did you see what he did when she said
Coco,
that?
I just want to tell you, you should have been here. You should have experienced this because you see me here with the one Burner boy. Yes, it's your mother right here, baby. All right, I know you're having a good time, but you see.
I just wanted to freeze that right there. Just wanted to freeze that right there. She said, I know you're having a good time. And you're like, yeah, all right. Just wanted to do that. The 720 degrees of analysis that you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. Jason picks up on the clues. I pick up on the clues. I pick up on the little details. I pick up on the little hints. People, this is called nonverbal communication. If I'm making all of this up, please explain to me how the hell I'm finding all these damn details if I'm just making this up. Oh, couldn't help but notice the Caribbean cocked eyes. Oh, man. Must be a Caribbean thing. Must be. So yeah, you know something going on. Oh, when them devious eyes start going up, something going on. Okay. All right. You see where I'm coming from? Do you see where I'm coming from? All right. Just saying. Look, fellas, it ain't gonna be Sheryl Ralph for you. That's not what it's gonna be. It's gonna be somebody else. She's sitting right there right now. Please understand, the female you sitting with right now is a microcosm of that. She wants that. She doesn't want to leave this world wondering what these experiences and things would have been like. She wants to leave this world feeling that you're the guy who's gonna make good, that life was worth living. And that she's not going to wake up one day with a whole bunch of regrets about what she didn't do and didn't see and didn't happen because she's stuck by you. She thinks that sticking by you is how she's going to get to do those things and see those things and experience everything in life. She didn't think that getting with you meant that it's a death sentence. And as a man, if you screw around and wait around too damn long, you really will look up one day and it'll be too late. You ain't trying to do any of that. Now you're just sitting with a discontent female talking about she's 70, needs to sit her ass down. Come on now. Look, I'm not going to say 70 is the new 40 because it damn well ain't, but let's just keep it real. The 70-year-old females today are not trying to do what our 70-year-old grandmamas were trying to do. They're not. Get that out of your damn system. The 70-year-old females today are not trying to do what their grandmamas and great-grandmamas did. They don't want their life at 70 to look the way your grandmamas and your great-grandmamas looked at 70. It is what it is. So you can keep telling yourself that she's going to be 70 years. If I can get her over the age of 50, she'll be ready for the retirement home. That's not what they're doing. That's not how they living. That's not what they're thinking. That's one of the issues with getting with a guy who's significantly older and whatnot, because you still ready to get it in and do all this stuff. You sitting with damn me Bill Belichick? So let me get this straight. You're a young, sporty 24, 25-year-old, and you sitting with this elderly man? You talking about doing all of it. You want to get up and go do something and go to Turks and Caicos and go on vacation and go on holiday, and he's trying to take a nap. He's like, hey, the game is Sunday. He's trying to take a nap, man. He's damn sure not trying to have some 24-year-old trying to bounce on top of him. He ain't trying to have that. He's like, girl, you're going to give me palpitations. So he's not trying to have all that. If you're a man, you wait too long and whatnot, and then options just kind of disappear. So, and then you have a discontented female sitting next to you, and she is just a bundle of resentment. Now, are there some men that as they get older, they kind of just keep charging? Well, sure, there are some. I mean, Vince McMahon, not the best example to give, but you get the idea. But those are few and far between. Let's just call it what it is. Most men are looking at some point to retire and just sit their ass down. They don't even want the psychological or mental stress of having to compete for $1. You see, in the dog-eat-dog world, you either get it or you don't. It's life or death. So getting $1 is unforgiving. You either got it or you didn't get it. Most men are not trying to do that for the rest of their lives. Most men want to eventually get to a point where that's just no longer an issue. And when he gets up in the morning, his financial problems, or at least his financial viability, isn't something he has to get out there with sword and shield in hand and slash and slack at people for. He doesn't want to have to do that. And I'm talking about just mentally and emotionally. He doesn't want to have to deal with the psychological stress that I got to get up tomorrow and go do hand-to-hand combat. He doesn't want that. He is willing to downsize. Oh, I'm going to hurt every damn body here tonight. He is willing to downsize his life in order to conform with the plan and what THS say, the program that he put together. So you see, if you're living in New York City and the rent or the housing prices or the insurance and stuff has gone up and you can't really afford to be there, he would rather pick y'all up and take you to another state than for him to try to come up with some way to start increasing his income again. When a hoe, as my man Finesse 2 times said, I'm going to say it just like it is. When the hoe, did you say hoes? I damn sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
When the hoe ready to go, the hoe ready to go. Well, guess what? When the man's ready to sit, the man's ready to sit. When the man's ready to lay it down, he's ready to lay it down. And he expects that the deal y'all made was that when he's ready to lay it down, you ready to lay it down. When he's ready to sit and get in his rocking chair, you're ready to sit and get in your rocking chair. When he's done traveling and jet setting or experiencing or exploring, when that's old to him and he's through with it, it's old to you and you through with it. And it's very easy for a female to agree to that when she got 4 bastard kids, or when she couldn't get her nursing degree to work off, or when she was sitting up there in the government trumping them, eliminated her government job, or the first 3 sugar daddies didn't work out, and OnlyFans got too many other chicks on it, so she couldn't really make that pop like she wanted. It's real easy to say that when you scramble for somebody and just say, okay, let me go ahead and lock in. It's a whole lot harder when the day comes that he says, yeah, that's really what it is. Oh, yeah. And one more thing. What do you do when you're a female and sex no longer motivates the man? What? Now, that's an unthinkable thought to most females, but there's a reason why most females complain about that as they get older. It isn't because the women want more sex. It's because women understand that if the man I'm with is no longer prioritizing sex, I don't have anything to motivate him with anymore. I can't even withhold sex anymore. He don't want it like that no more. So I can't even use that. At that point, she starts becoming hopeless. She's like, I can't even use that anymore. When we were younger, I could at least leverage that. I have nothing to bargain with, much less to bully with. This all is gonna be? Now, she gonna switch over. Now it's gonna get critical. Now she's gonna be like, okay, maybe I need to explore my options. Because if I have no leverage to change this situation, if I can't do it and you won't do it, what the hell am I doing here? And is that what I really signed up for? Really? A whole bunch of people have been talking about Sheryl Ralph and that whole situation and whatnot, and they did not go into the withering, blistering detail that I did. They did not appraise you of what the actual situation really was and what was really bothering her. They didn't do it. But if you've been listening to tonight's program, you got a lot of that dropped in your lap for you. And I hope it's been clarified. Because Sheryl Ralph is female society. Fellas, don't sit up here and delude yourself into thinking that's just Vincent Hughes' problem. This is every female out here. Everyone. If she tells you that it isn't, she's lying to your face. If she works at a job where there are white men, she works at a job where there are Asian men, she works at a job with men who got more money, more status, more drive, they're more productive. Brother, she's already seen that. So this idea that if you keep her off of social media, then that'll stop. There's a bunch of idiots and jackasses on YouTube were saying that for years. I had to debunk that. Then they all stopped finally saying it. They finally stopped saying it when reality dawned on them and they had to just concede, damn, Jason was right. Yo chick works at a hospital. She's looking at the chief of cardiology. She's looking at an administrator. She's looking at CEO from Pfizer or something coming through there. She's seeing other folks like that. Dude, you can't hide it. All you're doing is hoping that she's going to be oblivious to it or that she's going to tell herself, well, yeah, that's nice, but it ain't for me. All right. Okay, you can believe that if you want to. There is a problem with that, though. There is a problem. You want to believe that, but there is a problem. Jason, what's the problem? The problem is you got a whole bunch of dudes like Shaquille O'Neal sitting out there and whatnot. Damn! There's going to be a fella out there somewhere. He's going to be going through a dry spell his damn self. He going to be going through a dry spell his damn self, and yo chick was in the vicinity. And he's going to make an indecent proposal. And she's going to say no. But she's going to be asking herself, by the way, why am I saying no again? Why am I saying no exactly? Okay. Trying to help you as best I can here. Okay. I know a lot of y'all are freezing your butts off right now. Across the country, Arctic storm coming through, California, more winds coming. So fires in the west, cold everywhere else. Hopefully we can go ahead and keep that going though. I wanted to do a nice program here because I knew things were getting rough out there. So I wanted to go ahead and do a little bit of something for those of you who are snowed in, whatever the case may be, do a little bit of a special program here tonight. I just thought it would be a good opportunity to go ahead and do that. So give you something to think about and something to dwell on. I know for some of you, I've kind of ruined your week for you. So hopefully it hadn't hurt you too bad. By the way, those of you who are on Patreon, we got to discuss all this way before time. So, you know, it is what it is. Everybody else can play catch up. Everybody else can play catch up on that. I want to thank everyone who's contributed for tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo, Alanda, AO, Creole King, OGK Network, Flex Unique. Thank you very much to everybody else here. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate. Well, by the way, did you all see I uploaded the video about the South African doctor whose girlfriend wants a G-Wagon? So I separated that out. I uploaded that as a separate video here earlier today. So for those of you who haven't seen that one or whatever, hang on to your hats just in case you thought it was relegated to Hollywood, America, quote, the West. No, that video debunks Passport Bros as if I hadn't done years ago. But that one debunks it there. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every Saturday at 12 noon Central Time. You are more than welcome to join us so that you can be ahead of the game. Exclusive information and insights. I also posted something else on there today also. So for my members over there, you can see that. We're going to be doing the sound clips. I'm going to be doing the sound clips here Friday. So Friday, for all the sound clips for my new sound drops I'll be doing, I'll let you all weigh in. We're going to see if we can choose us a winner for who's going to be nominated and who's going to win for their submitting for my new sound drops that I'll be having, that I'll be adding to the program. So I'm looking to do that here this Friday. We got a lot to go through. So anybody who wants to try to sneak theirs in, you better hurry up. But we got a lot to go through there. Lot to go through. Can't wait till we get to that as well. I want to thank all of you for tuning in live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.